Oh well. I've seen stranger things. I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to get my webcam address off here without having to log in to Yahoo on a Facebook page, but I won't have to. Let's see, Facebook.com. Do. What's that? That's a long process. I had to go to my page, write down a ID number off the webcam viewing that you're seeing. Then I have to go back to the program that I am using. After getting the web address, I have to insert this number. It's in the part of the web address into the application for you to be able to have comments. 1906. $72.25. $22.67. $22.67. That's a huge ass number. Alright, I think that should be it, boys and girls. I can get out of here now. Because of my CPU usage. Let's see. Oh, I don't have anything here to log into. Let me see. There's some extensions. Let's see. Tools. Editor, recording, screenshots, plugins. My plugins. Sorry, folks. Taking me a minute to do things here. I understand why certain plugins aren't showing on this tool that I'm using to come live, and also to show you what I'm looking at and to share the news with you that I'm going over. It's taking me a minute. Let's see here. Share my stream, preview editor, fast editor video, recording, screenshots, plugins, my plugins, permissions, my plugins, plugin store, my plugins, permissions. Let's see. Extensions. There it is. I found it. The comment display. Alright, let's see if we can log in here. Alright. And we're in there with the comments. So someone should be able to leave me a comment in the comment box while I'm going live here. Is anybody watching live? Watch me live? Anybody? Comment in the comment box where I said new day, new start. Huh. Oh boy. It's not letting me into my account. Let's see what we got here. YouTube.com, MSN.com. Should be live. Extensions, let's see. Output, YouTube, Facebook. Maybe later. Already know that we're live on Facebook.
Welcome to the Fox tonight.
And seems to be a problem.
Fox tonight. Four rising stars must defend their seats. Are you ready to take one of these seats? From amazing new artists, you have to want it.
I love you guys, but I think you should be absolutely terrified right now.
The battle is on.
She looks a little scared to challenge.
How far will $10 take you this year? Learn from experts around the world on udemy.com. Explore.
We decided to repeat a popular experiment that has been done by many others online. And while science has failed to recognize the importance, many independent thinkers have now pondered with first-hand evidence what the impact of our feelings could really be. One of science's least measured phenomena may be one of the most important: the power and energy of emotions, moods, attitudes, speech, and behavior.
Well, that's a rather simplified suggestion of a complex mental process, but you get the idea. Cause, effectual patterns of emotional response. The
results were startling, not so much the conclusion in itself, but to experience it firsthand. What follows is the impact of our actual words. Perhaps our intentions matter.
Do you ever think about the things that you say? Not just to other people, but yourself. What effect, if any, those things actually really do have? I don't just mean the superficial effects or the emotional reactions to the words that you say, but is there something deeper, a more tangible physical effect? Dr. Masaru Emoto spent the last 20 years of his life studying the molecular structure of water. It's said that Emoto believed that water is a blueprint for our reality, and that human consciousness and intention can actually affect water and change it.
We create 50 frozen samples of every water specimen, and frozen at -25 degrees centigrade. The crystals start to grow and expand as the temperature of the ice tip rises under the microscope. A beautiful hexagonal crystal with delicate trimmings coming slowly from the 6 points of the hexagonal core.
After photographing frozen water crystals from different water sources under a microscope, he began to experiment with the effects of different letters, then words, then pictures on water crystals. He would expose the water sources to the pictures, to the words, and then freeze them and photograph them to see if these things had any effect on the frozen crystals. What he came back from the microscope with is some pretty amazing stuff.
Emoto decided to see how thoughts and words affected the formation of untreated distilled water crystals, healing versus heavy metal music.
Wow, look at that.
To the water molecules.
Over the years, this evolved into playing different pieces of music for water to see if the water structure changed, and praying over water, and then photographing it before and after he prayed over it. And what he found was so astonishing that even today, people are still trying to debunk it as pseudoscience because it has huge implications on, well, everything. And nobody wants the personal responsibility of that, I don't think. Saying nice, good, beautiful things to water, playing beautiful pieces of music to it, or offering heartfelt prayers over the water produced beautiful shapes under Dr. Emoto's microscope. But on the flip side, hateful messages and angry, disjointed music produced misshapen, ugly shapes under his microscope. A few months ago, I was looking into Dr. Emoto's work, and I came across people all over YouTube carrying out something they called the rice experiment, which is based on Emoto's work, and with what has been, for many people, some pretty surprising results. And as I've probably mentioned on this channel before, I homeschool, and we thought that our son would appreciate this one, so we did it for his science class.
Sterilizing a few jars and cooking some standard rice. We put 3 batches of this food, filled with absorbed water, to the test, with emotional treatment as the variable.
Alright, so here's what we got. So what's this one? This one, this one. This one, we ignore. What do we do with this one? Come tell it stuff.
I hate you! I want you to die! I mean, you just look like a bunch of maggots. It's not... I can't make a joke about it even. It's so pathetic. Ah, you're so sad. I hate you.
You're not rice, you're disgusting. You're putrid. And I know what's going to happen to you. You're going to turn black like your soul.
You're slimy and foul, and you look like someone who was scraped off the bottom of a Grand Central Station toilet. I don't think it's possible for me to...
Well, I think you see what the grand gist of the experiment is here, right? So your body is made out of like 90% water, correct? So it's all on what you do in your mind on how you're going to generate what the water in your system does and how the outcome of your life is, pretty much. So let's finish this up a little bit, shall we?
I hate an inanimate object more than I hate you. Alright, love rice.
Oh, how the pillowy clouds of heaven could not compare with your beauty. I love you.
I love you, love rice. My favorite is rice. You're my best friend. Forever. I love you.
This is the way rice is supposed to be. Perfectly steamed, organic. I love you, rice. You're a really good example of rice.
I like that other guy over there.
And you're better than everything. I love you more than everything, even my mom.
And this is the control of this.
The message is a thought, not the word. Thought, not the words. The vocal mechanism codes the words into vibrations and transmits them as sound across the communications channel, which is, of course, the air.
So, here's the results of our 2-month-long rice experiment. But before I get into this, I just want to say that when you look this up on the internet, what you will find are a lot of very hateful people who are angry that we would dare to call this an experiment because we're not doing it in a level 4 biohazard unit or something, and that this isn't real science, they're going to debunk it. And I just think that's kind of ironic and silly because they go into it with the intention of debunking it, and then they tell you how they tried it and it totally failed, and here's all the ways it could fail, and it just takes one molecule in the air to make the whole thing, whatever, okay? Yeah, if you go into it with that intention, that's kind of what this experiment is designed to show you. And so it's no wonder that you were able to debunk it. That's kind of the whole point. So I just think that's really silly. People get so ate up about real science. Okay, the point is it's an experiment that a layperson can do in their home, you know, to show the importance of intention and the effect that that can have. And I was actually really surprised by the results that we ended up with because I kept an open mind on this one. I had seen people do this experiment, and I'm homeschooling my son, so I thought for science class we could try this just to see what we ended up with. And I'm just really surprised, actually, at what we got, because check this out. So let's start with this love rice. This is our love rice here, and I'm going to turn it to the side. Hopefully you can see that, and I'll have close-up shots as well. But this rice actually doesn't look that bad at all. There's no mold in it, if you can see that. There's no mold in this rice at all. It's a little discolored. It's turning a little gray, but there's also hardly any condensation in this jar. And so that, almost from a distance, looks like just normal cooked rice. You wouldn't be able to tell that this has been sitting in this jar for 2 months now. And it's way better than this right here.
Nobody's saying anything in the comment box. I see someone comment.
It's really, really disgusting. Some of this is actually turning orange and red. It looks like it's rusting in the jar. In the front right here, you have this nasty green mold pile that's actually growing fur. There's all kinds of condensation going down the sides of the jar. I mean, it looks really disgusting. There's like a bright orange piece of rice. I didn't even know rice could turn bright orange, but it did. This is really disgusting. That is nasty. It's nasty from super far away, and visually you can see right away there's a huge difference between this jar and this jar. But what I think is actually the most interesting for me was the ignored rice, which also has a ton of condensation in it. In the back, you have what used to be gray rice that's starting to turn black. There's a big black mold spot in the middle underneath here, and the entire thing is covered in what looks like snow, like a big mound of white mold. And there's also a ton of condensation in it as well. And so none of this rice looks the same at all, even remotely. This is rice, this is organic rice that was cooked with reverse osmosis water in the same batch, and then was placed into 3 of the same type of jar that had been sterilized with boiling water in the same exact manner at the same time, placed in the same spot on the counter. And I know the debunkers say, well, just one molecule getting in there, but you should expect that this rice will look even remotely similar. And it doesn't look anything alike. All 3 of these jars are very different. And so how is that explained by just claiming, oh, it's just one molecule in the air? I mean, come on. This is really different from here to here. I mean, this is night and day difference.
A few years ago, it was quite popular to say, I will believe nothing that I cannot see or handle or know with my physical senses. Today, this attitude is considered quite unscientific. Much of modern science deals with very real quantities and qualities that are beyond the range of the physical senses.
Despite the fact that we used to do a lot of food videos on this channel about ways to grow your own food and things like that, people nowadays come onto our channel sometimes and they say, you never give any solutions to anything on your channel. And, you know, half the problem, I think, is just talking about the things that we talk about. First of all, you can't have a solution if you don't even know there's a problem. But that having been said, I also think people are just waiting around for someone else to always tell them what the answer is to everything. And I don't think they realize how much power and control they actually do have over their own life. And I don't know, so I think some of the people that get real angry because they say this isn't a real science experiment or whatever, and they want to debunk it and tell you how powerless you really are and that there's nothing to it and everything like that. I think some of those people actually don't want this to be true, because I think they don't want to have to take responsibility for their own intentions and how those intentions have affected their life, possibly in negative ways, and the people around them too. This is going to make me think.
Oh, people comment. What do you think about this?
Just the way I interact with everybody.
Fact or fiction?
Anymore. Just everybody. I mean, you hear people arguing in like a Target or something with each other.
Fact or fiction?
Real hateful things are coming out of their mouth. I'm going to be thinking about this rice, you know? Or all those moms that I always see out at the grocery store and they're completely ignoring their children who are, you know, little babies in the shopping cart playing with iPads and stuff. Ignoring. I mean, look at this. and just love. The intention of love. I mean, this is 2-month-old rice, and it looks almost good enough to eat. There is hardly any condensation and no mold in this jar. How does that happen? Because the only real difference here is our intentions.
I wasn't that surprised because I did see the videos about this that other people had done, and the results are consistent. That's got to mean something. And I saw it done with apples and other food. You know, everything has a relationship of water. It's water and us, it's water and food. But I don't know if I had thought about it in such a tangible kind of way, the way it affects ourselves, each other, the way I treat other people.
So you're going to start treating me like that one over there, right? And not that one over there.
I'm pretty much over here on this side.
Just kidding.
How are they going to treat me? It reminds me of, what's that movie where the woman cries? She makes really good soup, but she cries into the soup, and then everyone feels it when they eat the soup, but it's really good. And
the flying one, I can't remember
I don't know what it's called, but it reminds me of that.
El llanto fue el primer síntoma de una intoxicación extraña. Una gran melancolía y frustración hizo preso de todos los invitados y los hizo terminar en el patio, los bares y los baños, añorando a la muerte de su hija.
I mean, we all watch this happen for weeks. Other people have done this experiment. What's really going on here?
So, this is rice that, for weeks, we told really nice.
Wow, that's some powerful stuff, huh? She cried in the soup.
As much as you can
guys
love
get
a jar of rice.
the gish of that, you understand
love this jar of rice, which, at first when you do this experiment, you are going to feel silly. That's just how it is. Or not, if that's your thing. You know, rice in jars. But I'm just saying, I at first felt kind of silly, but after a while you get used to it. You know, it's kind of like talking to plants. Or, well, not really, because plants are alive, but you know, it's just this rice feels even more silly to say hateful things to an inanimate object. But sometimes we didn't even say hateful things to the rice. Sometimes we just hissed at it. But it's the intention. That's the main difference here. That's what matters. And this to me, I'll tell you what this reminds me of. Back when I was really depressed in my life and I had a lot of health issues and stuff, and I was really overweight, it was almost like I got to a point where I just wanted to gain more weight, almost like a shell to keep people away from me. I was very antisocial, had a lot of issues, and that's kind of what this reminds me of, because you know that neglect is also a form of abuse. Most of us realize that, but it's like this rice has built a shell over itself to protect itself from being ignored. As if it knew it was the ignored rice. I don't know how to explain all of that. I just know that the main difference here is our intentions and how that affected these things. Because that's the only real difference between this, and this. I mean, that's the only difference. You know, and obviously it's a very important one. And what this experiment tells us, what it proves to us, is that our intentions are very powerful. They're very important in your life. The average individual has no idea how much power he has simply by setting his own intentions. And there are lots of things that science cannot prove. And one of those things are cases that have come out where people had devastating diseases, cancer, stuff like that, and they thought themselves well. They literally thought themselves well. They refused to believe in their cancer. They refused to give it any more of their attention. And they spent all of their time believing that they were healed.
If a doctor should tell you that you have cancer, and that if he doesn't operate, you're doomed to die, how do you believe in him? By agreeing with his diagnosis? No. You truly believe in the doctor when you let him operate, when you submit yourself to him.
There are people who have had cancer go into remission, and that's really the only thing that changed. And so science can't explain that.
It is possible to know all this and still be lost, still not believe it. Here is a simple illustration. Two statements concerning this chair. First, I know it will hold me up. Second, well, I believe it will hold me up. Which statement is correct? The first. I know that that chair will hold me up because it's a good, strong chair. We wouldn't have it here in the laboratory if it weren't, but I don't believe it. Because you can't believe in a chair standing up. Now I'm believing in the chair. I'm trusting myself to it.
To me, this proves something that I already knew in my own life. You have seen this before. A person who gets up every day, they're a real Debbie Downer, and they go, oh, today's going to suck, and then what happens? Their day sucks. They have set their intention that their day sucks, they believe their day will suck, and they attract a terrible, sucky day. They make it happen. You know? And it is that simple. A lot of things in this universe are really that simple, and this is one of them. And it kind of branches off into a whole direction of things that I have all kinds of questions about. You know, things that we've heard about how the observer changes the experiment. I mean, where do you think that kind of stuff comes from? I feel like it works on the same principle as 100th monkey syndrome, and that same principle of when you walk into a room and you see someone across the room and you just know that's a bad person because you get a feeling that you can't explain any other way. All of these things are connected, in my opinion.
Wow.
For some reason, many people seem to have two kinds of faith.
I started experimenting my
One
own.
they reserve for
off
values they
screen,
consider absolute.
Stop.
2 times 2 equals 4. The law of gravity. And then a so-called religious faith, which is almost a retreat from fact into a realm of fantasy. They seem to have 2 compartments in their brain. They keep their science on one side, their religion in the other, with a wall between them. They're afraid to remove the wall, fearing that their faith will be swept away by fact and hard reality. To say the least, such a faith lacks honest conviction. Only a faith that is founded on truth can survive.
I know that it's really a silly idea to talk to rice, okay? I get it, but just do it to show yourself how powerful your intentions are and what kind of change that can make in your life. Do we need to be doing this to ourselves? A lot of us do this to ourselves. I know I'm guilty of having done it many times in my life. Do we need to do this to ourselves for this? You could be doing this every day.
What are you doing?
To really affect their own life and the people around them in this kind of a way. Can you imagine what kind of world we would have? It's something to think about anyway.
Change the message from I hate you to I love you.
Stop. Stop. Behave a minute. Stop. Behave a minute. Quit biting the damn chair. Gosh, he wants my attention so much. I'm sorry, but I got other things I like watching and doing.
In Days of Darkness, we'll really start to see some stuff popping.
Stop.
Now, can I ask you guys to each just briefly tell the people that are listening what you would say your role is in all this? What you do all day?
Yeah, sure. You want me to start with that one?
Yeah, go for it, brother.
Okay, sure, man.
People that are listening, let's see here. Welcome everyone, welcome. Just gearing up here to go over some developments and cover today's...
For you out there who's been following my QAnon posts, this is more about that. If you want to listen in or comment on it on the comment box. It's one of the news channels that I follow.
And about 8 million windows open. And I see people filtering into the chat room. Good morning. I want to address a couple of things before I start. First of all, you guys are awesome. The people that come and participate in this chat room, the people that support me with the super chat my patrons, all you guys, just the support for the work that I'm doing here on this side of the microphone is amazing. It's like, I feel like we have this big family growing, and everyone has everyone else's best interest at heart, and this is great. Very happy. Secondly, to address some comments, people were asking, why do I leave the chat up if everybody can see it on their screen? Well, the truth is that this video will get many thousands of views after the broadcast. And if the chat isn't there when I'm talking about something in the chat, I know myself when I watch people on the broadcast, I wish that I could see that. Everything I'm doing is
not right now.
I like to see. So, sorry, I might have put some opacity.
Alright, folks, I'm going to pause this
from time to time, but generally speaking, the stuff that you want to focus on.
I shall leave it running while I'm out for a moment.
Anyway. Okay.
Astro here.
If you don't like my videos, I don't know why I have to say this, but if you don't like my crazy backgrounds, my scrolling text, and it gives you a headache, or you don't like how I take my time, you can bug off. There's plenty of other channels to watch on YouTube. You can go watch puppy videos, whatever it is. Thank you, Sarah Snyder, for the super chat. Very cool. Thank you. And to also, speaking of which, she says, time to bring Lucy bastards down. And that's great. Speaking of which, I ain't ever going to come on here and beg anybody for anything. Nobody owes me anything. Nothing. I'm sitting here doing work for y'all. Simple as that. If somebody wants to support me with a super chat or send me a box of muffins, that's their prerogative. Oh, it's the David Driscoll show. Again, he wants to be the primary. Hello, and welcome to the David Driscoll show. Sponsored by David Driscoll.
You want to go out or not?
David Driscoll show confirmed. I feel like I'm getting a little cold or something. I woke up this morning stuffy, so I apologize if I cough a little bit or whatever. I'm going to tweet this show link out, and we'll get to everything here in just a second. I did put up a video about 8:30 this morning because I woke up and I was like, oh snap. I figured, I go to bed. And the truth is I just got over like a year spout of insomnia, and I've been taking like Benadryl to sleep and just crazy. So lately I've been sleeping really good. So 8 hours. All right, let me just tweet this. All right, so I got a couple of cool things in store for you guys today. Let's see here. Tweet. Okay, sorry. I'm a one-man show over here. So I'm kind of doing... And the building maintenance was around earlier hammering on my door, and I didn't answer it because I didn't want to deal with anybody. And I hope that they don't come around again because I ain't going to answer. I just don't feel like dealing with whatever it is they need. Usually there's a car out there that doesn't belong to me anyway, and they want it moved or something. So, alright, so the heart of the matter here. Today I will have on a couple of the admins, board owners, I guess you would say, for Reddit CBTS, and also the 8chan. So, again, huge shout out. Let's just looking at this chat here. Huge shout out to everybody over on Discord and Patreon. Very cool. That's how I found out what was going on this morning. I've also got some developing things that I'm following that I don't want to mention. To touch on the video and the live broadcast from yesterday, if you watch planes, you will see that today the plane traffic is normal, But yesterday, for a good 4 or 5 hours, man, something went down out there. And I think that there was going to be a launch, and somehow North Korea, whatever was talked out of it or shut down, something happened. So, and if you go and you look at the, chat, I'm sorry, if you go and look at the, what do you call it? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked by the damn chat. I gotta stop looking at it. Anyway, I'm gonna just shut up and put this stuff up here. Alright, here we go. So Q posted about 3 a.m., something like that. Here we are looking at CBTS number 285, Q is back edition. And before I get into digging through the thread, here's the post. Right here. Here is the post. So, for some reason it's, let's see here, cutting off the bottom of it for you guys. Not much else to see. Make it a little bigger. Okay, so first was 710Q, as you can see at the top. Anonymous, right? So, no, what's weird about this is some of these I saw in the thread and I put them in my other video, and there was a couple of posts missing. So to word out to the baker, something was off with your bread this morning. I did a whole video where I think I might have left out like 2 posts because they weren't there. I'm not sure if they were in the graphic, but they weren't in the list. And I wonder if they are right now. Take a look. Whoever the baker was for 285, if you're listening, see here, trip code updates, emergency announcement, and the post. So there was this one, this one, this one, this one. Where is the, there's one about about actors or something like that. So hopefully we can have the board owners clear this up for us. All right. David Driscoll. He's got a little button. No, wait, he's that doesn't sound right. It's the David Driscoll Show, ladies and gentlemen. Blowing up the super chat, which is super cool. So anyway, here we are. We'll go back to, this is on Reddit. If you go to the CBTS _stream Reddit, this is, let's see here, 8,631 operators subscribed, 1,145 online right now. And this was started by Tracy Beans, who's another YouTuber. I'm sure you guys seen her videos. And you can see some of the people that we'll probably have on today. Pamphlet Anon, Baruch the Scribe, sorry. I might goof off a little bit here and there. If you don't like it, you can bug off. Alright, let me see here. Alright, so here's the post. 710Q. Locked, routed, CA, IP, and tag. Secured and fixed. Previous password was let go. Safeguards in place. Q. Okay, we're going to discuss all these with the bakers and the breadmen. The next one's very coded, but it has to, it says, who is AMB Matlock? Yes, in caps. Okay. And people have been sending me Matlock links all morning. Somebody sent me this one. John Matlock. Okay, and here it says, John Matlock is a career diplomat who served on the front lines of American diplomacy during the Cold War and was a U.S. ambassador to the Soviet Union when the Cold War ended.
Since retiring from foreign service, he is focused on understanding how the Cold War ended and how lessons from that experience might be applied to public policy today. And this is just a website about this Jack Matlock guy. But I don't know how AMB is ambassador. That's something that we're going to have to ask. Let's see here. I mean, when I hear Matlock, I think of the show. I can't help myself. I think of the show. Let's see here. And then I've gotten other links of other people named Matlock that might be that person. So, not sure. I don't know what AMB stands for. If anybody has any idea, if you could type that in the chat room. I have no idea. I watch Matlock, then go to Denny's for the early bird special. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of an old folks show. Murder, She Wrote, kind of Lifetime stuff. Ambassador Matlock, Russian ambassador. Maybe. That might be a stretch. But it could be ambassador. I mean, I guess it could be Ambassador Matlock. You know, AMB. And yeah, he was for ambassador for Reagan. And I also got some story. All right, I got some folks that are going to come jump in here. Let's see if we can't get them in. Give me 1 second. All right. If I can get everybody on board my Discord. Again, you can participate in the Discord, which you can see right here, by going to my Patreon. Links are in the video below or any of my videos. And people like the people that you're going to hear on the air today hang out in there. And we discuss all things related to the storm. And we'll also ask each other how your day was and things like that. It's kind of a good place to hang out. I run it. And I run a pretty loose ship. I'm not super strict, so if you want to come hang out over there, yeah, I posted on your other vid, he was Reagan's assistant. Yep, thank you. Everybody that posts in the comments, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Everybody that posts comments, everybody that tweets at me, and everybody that participates in the Discord. I appreciate it.
Right.
And I'm going to tell everybody. Now, I want to just quickly also address the people going, you're slow. Your show's too slow. Man, I'm going to sit here for hours talking, so I'm not going to run a rat race. And it's my show. Lori Sylvia.
You tell them, buddy.
Discord?
You're in my show within the show.
Go through my Patreon. Sign up on Patreon to gain access to the Discord. That's the only thing. Okay, so let me get people in here. If you have questions for myself or my guest, put them up in the chat room. I appreciate that. Up on your screen right now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about too with these people. This researchers found 2 major security flaws in processors. Crazy. We're going to talk about that with these autistic nerds I have coming on here. Okay, here we go. Alright, I'm going to drop them in. Hello, gentlemen. Anybody hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, sir. You're coming through clear.
Oh, great. Let me ask everybody in the chat room. If everybody make sure you can let me know if you can hear the guest. All right, that is the voice of PA, Pamphlet Anon. PA, tell everybody what you do, who you are, please.
Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm still getting set up here myself.
That's okay. Take your time. Take your time. He'll tell you himself, but he is one of the people behind the scenes over here at Reddit, and he's pretty well versed in all this stuff that we're talking about. And the last time I spoke to him, I learned a lot. He's definitely got, definitely has a passion for all this. Take off this stupid shirt because I'm actually warm for once. All right. Thank you all for telling me that the guest is clear. We might have a couple other folks in here. All right, and let's see here. I'm going to invite someone else in here. Again, big thanks to all my supporters, people that do the super chat. Like, made my day yesterday. As soon as my other half got home, I was like, baby, you're not going to believe what happened today. And she really couldn't. I had to show her. I had to sit on here and show her how that stuff all works. She don't like the internet, which is okay with me. All right.
All right, man. I'm all set up. I just came back from the room.
No problem. A Bobo?
Good morning, fellas. How's everyone doing today?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm sorry, my dog didn't have to use the bathroom until after I brought him back in.
We got more Q posts last night. I mean, 8chan blew up. Like, literally blew up. And as a result, there's a lot of second and third tier consequences from that. You see it, the Q phenomenon has been leaking out into other, media outlets, whether it's like, Twitter, Reddit, what have you. And it's starting to blow up. And anytime Q posts, like in the past, it's a lot of focus on his, trying to decode his messages and see what it was all about. But this time there was such anticipation waiting. We hadn't heard from him since Christmas Day. So there was just so much anticipation and a lot of hungry anons out there waiting for those problems. And Q finally fed us. And it's a beautiful thing, a wonderful thing to wake up to.
Yeah, especially after people like, what's his face, James DeFango, were out there, what was it, a couple days ago, claiming Q. Didn't he claim Q was a LARP?
Right.
Something along those lines. Totally absurd.
Right.
Totally absurd. I believe Bobo actually mentioned last night on Tracy's show that we'd be getting Q posts within a day or two, and sure enough.
Yeah, well, it was, when we were on Tracy's show the other day, it was mainly about the announcement Code Monkey made about the super secure tokens. And it was, right away, we had discussed this, that it was right away that is a, indication of, Q coming back. So if you recall during the other trip code business a few weeks ago, Code Monkey had to step in and do the whole whitelist thing. He did that, and then almost right away, Q started posting again. So I knew, and I think a lot of anons did. Once Code Monkey stuck his hand in again, it was an indication of him coming back, and that turned out to be true. So I'm hoping that, with, not only the Q post today, but we start to get a little bit of closure for some of the things, not only like these sealed indictments, maybe we'll get a little bit of, CB on the bail, a little bit about these Guantanamo flights. Hopefully, we'll see what came out of the, Hillary Clinton's house caught on fire yesterday.
Right.
So hopefully we'll get some closure out of that too.
Not her house.
What I'm hoping to see out of this is an indication after these last 10 days of darkness, we'll really start to see.
It wasn't even attached to her house.
Now, can I ask you guys to each just briefly tell the people that are listening what you should say your role is in all this? What you do all day?
Yeah, sure. You want me to start it, Bobo?
Yeah, go for it, brother.
Okay, sure, man. All right, I'm here for on. I've been on ASCW's show here before, so most of you people should have heard me by now, would think. But for those of you that haven't, I am a moderator on the 8chan CBTS board, and I run the board, the 8chan board, the Storm, and I'm also a moderator on the subreddit CBTS_stream.
Nice.
Hi guys. I guess my role in this, I am one of the moderators on the 8chan CBTS, which takes up a huge chunk of time.
Oh yeah.
One of the moderators on the, it's like really, it's been almost a full-time job on that. It's like yesterday I was out for 16 hours straight, and that was without even Q posts.
Right.
That's like average. I'm on usually from about 8, 9 in the morning till midnight Eastern time. Midnight, 1 a.m.
Right.
When I gotta knock out. Anyway, I'm also one of the moderators on the subreddit, the CBTS Stream subreddit, and the administrator for the CBTS Stream discussion Discord, which is a dedicated Discord just for the Redditor users to come in and do. But I've been involved with Q, following the Q stuff since he was posting on HalfChan, around back in October. I've been a HalfChan user for a long, long time. Was never really involved with 8chan too much until Q started posting again. And that's where I met Pamphlet, and I was just through Discord, and we were on a different, Discord server about the CBTS stuff, and we kind of hit it off right away because it was.
Those were the days, man.
That's
a while back, wasn't it?
Yeah, the good old days. It seems like forever ago. It's just like a month or two, man. But really, we laugh about it being called the good old days because that was when we were just like digging into Q posts, just like all the other anons, like before moderating or do anything.
Right.
And it's like since this whole situation has evolved, it turned into what it's had to. Anons like Pamphlet and myself find ourselves more on like an administrative side of things instead of like actually digging into the crumbs.
Right.
Which is,
totally different experience. Yeah.
It really is. And it's great to be able to see, to see the amount of progress that's being made on the Q posts with it, but still we fill a pretty necessary role.
Right.
As far as especially in 8chan, like keeping it shill free. And I don't know how familiar you are with chan culture, but one of the challenges with 8chan especially is the amount of mainstream scrutiny that has come on. Usually 8chan is one of those unknown corners of the internet that not many people go to. And if any of the chans are ever mentioned in the media, it's almost always HalfChan, just because of various shenanigans.
Yep.
So one of the things we've had with 8chan, like I'll give an example. Last weekend, InfoWars linked directly from an article on their website, linked directly to the CBTS board at 8chan. A direct link. So right away we have all these people coming to 8chan and they start posting and they're not familiar with board culture.
They have no idea what's going on.
Oh yeah.
No idea.
In shark infested waters, man.
Yeah, it is.
Tiny little Yep.
It's ridiculous. I've had people posting with their actual email address, self-doxing on 8chan.
Right.
They'll do it with their actual email.
Right.
And it sucks because it's a violation of the board rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta, so we gotta delete it because they don't want that information out.
How many people do you ban in a day?
Oh,
bans every person you can.
I wouldn't say I'm that crazy about it. I say on average 20 to 25 bans a day. But
that sounds about right.
Can't start, like, if any of your listeners have ever been banned from 8chan, like, seriously, don't take it personally. If you got a temp ban, that probably came from me.
You've banned me. I've been on there for years, so I've been banned. Yeah.
Oh, right on. I almost always do like a temp ban, probably a timeout, and I'll write a message so like you get a timeout.
I deserved it. It was a stupid post. I didn't need to put it up. It was stupid, so I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, permanent bans are generally reserved for people who clearly have no business being on there.
Right.
Have no purpose there, but just out of chaos and
right. Let me just say,
exactly.
I gotta say, thanks Beverly Adams. It was 10 Days of Darkness and David Driscoll, the David Driscoll Show. Thank you for you guys wouldn't believe how the people that watch my show blow up the super chat. Like, they're amazing. They're keeping my lights on at my house. I'm just like, blown away. Like, people in this, I don't know if you guys, this one thing I wanted to ask you, noticed that a lot of the people that are involved in what we're all involved in seem like the type of people you could trust with $50 and you'd get it back, and people that will actually do stuff like pray for you and they actually care about you.
For the most part, yeah.
About what you hear here on this program.
Yeah, it's somebody's saying in my chat room, and you see there, mods are gay, stay off my yeah.
Sounds about right.
So tell me, you guys, what's the deal with Ambassador Matlock? Is that what we're talking about? AMB Matlock?
That's something that just I saw this briefly mentioned on 8chan earlier. That it came up. Honestly, I can't answer because I haven't dug too deeply into it.
I don't know offhand what the latest is, so I don't want to speculate on anything. I don't know what the current running theories are either. I've been actually busy moderating, like on the Discord and everything.
Right.
My wife is also sick, so I'm taking care of her.
Oh, geez. Hope she feels better. I hope she feels better. So this is.
Thank you.
I think somebody said in the Discord they think A and B for ambassador is too easy, and I might be on that same train.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of too obvious.
Yeah, it's a little too obvious.
There's no way to say it.
Right.
On your show, do you have a? Are they looking at the Discord on the screen? Because I don't have the actual YouTube.
They can in 1 second.
All right, well, listen, I'm going to put up a post from 8chan earlier. This has a link on it for this Matlock fella. And it's just something I saw. This might be, it might be nothing, might be something.
Sure. Yeah, throw it up in the Discord.
Yeah, and then there's a link on here too, but it's broken, in 8chan style. But this is just a little bit of information about Matlock. It looks like he was the ambassador to the USSR. Could be significant. Again, I don't want to speculate because this is way outside of my lane.
Yeah, this is the guy. I have his, it's jackmatlock.com up on the screen. Looks like he's got a few books. Reagan and Gorbachev, Autopsy on an Empire, and Superpower Illusions. Those are 3 of his books. Now, somebody posted something to me through Twitter channels, a DM, and it had to do with something about directed energy weapons, and then it had also something that had to do with firefighters. Let's see if I can get this straight. I don't want to pull it up on my screen and dock somebody, but firefighters in the Soviet Union that lit fire and then used the fire. They were agents, and they used the fire to go in and collect some evidence. And all I could think of was the fire yesterday, which was on Seth Rich's birthday, and the Clinton fire, and then to have this thing come out about the Russian ambassador, maybe, possibly, about Jack Matlock, seems like kind of a weird string of events. Right. So I'm waiting to get some information on that fire and things like that before I can really put it out there. But yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy. It does seem a little too easy, but at the same time, I'm of the school of thought that Q's kind of dumbed himself down in some ways for people. So because a lot of stuff.
Yeah, in a lot of cases that's been true in my opinion.
Right.
With some of the more recent posts, yeah.
Yeah, stuff's going over people's heads, but
and a lot more direct.
Yeah, they're more direct and not so I don't know. They're not the question format, which is a whole nother thing for a whole nother show. That they're not the same, question. But what do you guys? I have to ask you because you're behind the scenes. Do you think lock, routed, CAIP, and tag have to do with the Chan?
I have no idea. Are you just making up words now?
Yeah.
What you're talking
about?
No, sir.
What's up?
This is from Q's post. It's post number 2, 3.
About one of the stringers. Do you have a screenshot or something of it, or
it's 2, 3.
I got it. This is one of the 3 new posts.
Yeah, 23905. That's something else I wanted to clear too. Is it? I'm not sure. I think there's like a post that I keep seeing that goes missing. Yeah, you've got it right there. So if you look at the second one, locked, routed, CAIP, and tag, secured and fixed.
Okay, this is the post that he made, and if you follow this link over to where he posted on 8poll, that's the one where he said made the great actor comment. So this, I imagine this just has something to do with him confirming his identity, because he has in the past, after the last trip code mishap, confirmed himself over on 8poll.
Right.
As far as what this specifically means, honestly, I have no clue. I mean, I really don't. I don't want to speculate.
Oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Oh, what happened? What did I do? You quit?
Regulation. So maybe you're onto something there with that, what you just said.
I've been, I've always thought that,
That same train.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of too obvious.
Yeah, it's a little too obvious.
There's no way to say for sure.
Right.
on your show, do you have a, are they looking at the Discord on the screen? Because I don't have the actual YouTube open.
They can in 1 second.
All right, well, listen, I'm going to put up a post from 8chan earlier. This has a link on it for this Matlock fella. And it's just something I saw. This might be, it might be nothing, might be something.
Sure. Yeah, throw it up in the Discord.
Yeah, and then there's a link on here too. It's broken, in 8chan style. But this is just a little bit of information about Matlock. It looks like he was the ambassador to the USSR. Could be significant. Again, I don't want to speculate because this is way outside of my words.
Yeah, this is the guy. I have his, it's jackmatlock.com up on the screen. Looks like he's got a few books. Reagan and Gorbachev, Autopsy on an Empire, and Superpower Illusions. Those are 3 of his books. Now, somebody posted something to me through Twitter channels, a DM, and it had to do with something about directed energy weapons, and then it had also something that had to do with firefighters. Let's see if I can get this straight. I don't want to pull it up on my screen and dock somebody, but firefighters in the Soviet Union that lit fire and then used the fire. They were agents, and they used the fire to go in and collect some evidence. And all I could think of was the fire yesterday, which was on Seth Rich's birthday, and the Clinton fire, and then to have this thing come out about the Russian ambassador, maybe, possibly, about Jack Matlock, seems like kind of a weird string of events. Right. So I'm waiting to get some information on that fire and things like that before I can really put it out there. But yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy. It does seem a little too easy, but at the same time, I'm of the school of thought that Q's kind of dumbed himself down in some ways for people. So there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, that's true, in my opinion.
Right.
Some of the more recent posts,
Yeah, stuff's going over people's heads, but
a lot more direct.
Yeah, they're more direct and not so I don't know. They're not the question format, which is a whole nother thing for a whole nother show. That they're not the same, question. But what do you guys? I have to ask you because you're behind the scenes. Do you think lock, routed, CAIP, and tag have to do with the Chan?
I have no idea. Are you just making up words now? What you're talking
about?
No, sir.
What's up?
This is from Q's post. It's post number 2, 3.
About one of the stringers? Do you have a screenshot or something of it? Or
Yeah, it's 2, 3.
I got it. This is one of the 3 new posts.
Yeah, 23905. That's something else I wanted to clear too. Is it? I think there's like a post that I keep seeing that goes missing. Yeah, you've got it right there. So if you look at the second one, locked, routed, CAIP, and tag, secured and fixed.
Okay, this is the post that he made, and if you follow this link over to where he posted on 8poll, that's the one where he said made a great actor comment. So this just has nothing to do with him confirming his identity, because he has in the past, after the last trip code mishap, confirmed himself over on 8poll.
Right.
As far as what this specifically means, honestly, I have no clue. I mean, I really don't. I don't want to speculate.
Okay, and so you don't think that that's it's not Chan speak for somebody behind, like an admin. Like there's no CAIP tag thing that you guys have to deal with? It doesn't ring any bells.
No, not particularly. Like when I like on the chans, if I pull up someone's IP stuff, it's a long ass letter, alphanumeric.
Right.
For an IP. Sometimes the letters CA are in there, sometimes they're not, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not just a couple letters.
Okay.
Yeah. So this could. I really don't know what this means. I'm just looking at like the secured and fixed line. That's the third one down after, or the second one down after the link.
Right.
And then comparing that to the what the actual 8-pole post said. So I just imagine this has to do with the confirmation.
Okay.
Safeguards in place, previous password was let go, etc., etc. So that's fun times. So as long as we have this this pulled up, the Q posts, let's take a look at the one that says Monday. The one with the actual triggers and stuff in it. What do you guys think where it says like EO classified WH? So it's obvious, EO is for executive order not passed. What do you guys think this is about? Or has anyone seen anything with an executive order that contains the 6713 alpha? Have you guys heard anything about what this?
I thought that wasn't an executive order, 6713.
I heard that as well.
That it's not?
So EO must be something else. Right?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I thought that EO was standing for executive order this time, but it's entirely possible it's not.
Eyes only?
There you go.
Yeah, that's one thing that actually crossed my mind before. Was eyes only. And there was
That's the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Eyes only classified White House 6713A. Possibly. And signature confirm. To me, what it looks like is signature confirms March 3rd or January, February, March 9th. So it'd be MAR.
Is that a Secretary of the Inspector General, SIG? Is that
could be?
Maybe it's March 39th.
What's the name of the
It's March 39th.
Wait, what?
Hey, I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna send that check.
I see, yeah.
I'm gonna send that check on March 39th. Don't worry. You get paid on March the 39th. All right, we're probably confusing somebody out there. They're like, oh man. All right, so that whole string of things I don't even think has anything to do with us. I think sitting here trying to figure that out is trying to figure out what a EAM message is coding, military code is supposed to mean. And I feel like it all comes out in the wash. Like we'll find out in a week what he was talking about, or later today or something.
It could be state.
No, I just went in the bedroom and bust my dog's ass.
Right, and then EO could be eyes only, or it could be executive order, like you said. To me, it seems like there's also you can't ignore the first line either. That J-Go DX-2-8 everything has meaning. Like, well, what's the meaning of J-Go _DX? How are we supposed to? Where do you even start?
Well, I imagine that's not for us, not right now. Anyway.
Right.
That's something maybe we'll understand after the right piece of news.
Right.
Gets out there.
Right. That's what I mean.
Right. No, we're not. I guess we're not going to understand what it is.
Right.
Yep.
We have another person in the chat, in our voice chat. Who's that? I am.
Oh, that's
Wayne.
Wayne, you want to hop in here?
Hey, sorry.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Wayne. I'm not sure what else you'd like to know.
No, I guess
Wayne's a really cool guy.
Wayne's a really cool guy, and he's got something to say. He's got something to say about this. Are you doing some digging, Wayne?
Well, yeah, a moment ago, somebody was sending me a message here. Yeah, my special talent is involved, so that's what I've been doing for about 10 years now.
Wayne does some really interesting stuff. He's full of some knowledge and really interesting things.
Can you download onto us your thoughts and interpretations about the post from this morning?
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it now, so.
I keep missing one. I don't know if the baker left it out of the bread or what the deal is, but there's the one that says something about good actors.
That's the post you did on Paul.
That was from Paul. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, that's the one he links to. The second post down from the top from the screenshot.
I guess I left that. I guess I left that out of the thing. I did a video this morning to just really quickly get those posts out. I didn't really try to even disseminate them. So, Wayne, let me ask you, as far as this locked, routed CA, IP, and tagged, secured, and fixed, do you have insight as far as that goes?
No, I'm not sure yet. I mean, this is all relatively new to me right now. I just got up not long ago, so I'm trying to cross as far as what something cannot be. And like EO, I don't, usually if it's operations or something, it's like OPS and things like that. So I haven't got quite to swallow this down yet. So
right. All right. So, is there anything that jumped out at you when you first saw them?
Okay, guys, hold up. I just received something from someone.
Cool.
Executive order, EO 6713A from, is this right? 1934. Hold up.
There was a thing while he was at this where, I don't know if you talked about this yet, where he had reversed his executive order on elections. Trump did, and that was mainly because
right. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
It was mainly because the states were cooperating, and then the New York Times came out with an article, I believe this morning, again trying to spin the whole issue and saying that Trump couldn't find any election fraud. Well, I'm fully aware that there is massive election fraud.
Right.
All right, guys, I'm about to put up a PDF here.
Okay.
I just got sent. All right, hold on.
So this is something from Pamphlet and on that he was probably sent through a Discord channel or something that is breaking, I guess. This is something new to all of us, right?
Now, hold on, I'll copy and paste.
For you who are in on this and don't know what's going on, this is about QAnon. Someone who's in the inside of President Trump is giving out information that has been proven to be fact. And we're going over what he has put out lately and trying to figure out what it is that he's trying to tell us.
You can join through my Patreon. These guys hang out there. So if you ever want to talk to them, if you have questions, I'm going to put, let me just take all this stuff off my screen for a minute.
Here comes the second link.
Okay. Wow, what are we looking at here?
Okay, and then...
Let's see here. Alcoholic beverage wholesale industry.
Oh, that is just awesome.
What are we looking at? Right. I haven't had a drop in years. All right, let me see here. 1934. Who's president? Is it Theodore Roosevelt?
The FDR.
And Lyndon B. Johnson?
That was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. That was when the New Deal came about.
Right. Who's administrator? What's the first? Hughes.
The New Deal was a system-wide change. They literally flipped the political jurisdictions in this country.
Withdrawal of public land for Lookout Station, California. 1934. Filing of functional organization charts with the director of the Bureau of the Budget. I mean, this stuff's like almost 100 years old. All right, what's the other? What is this that you put up? What's the thing that you put up here? In the chat. Oh, you put up. Wait, what do we got here? That's the executive order, May 22nd, right? And then the EO classified 6713 that you pasted. That's, we think, might be what we're looking at. So let's see. Approval of Code of Fair Competition for Food Manufacturing Industry. Well, I'm just going to go through the top, if something jumps out at you guys, okay? exemption for Charles Dixon from compulsory retirement for age. So that's somebody that had to retire because they were old and didn't want to, I guess. Making additional funds available to the Central Statistical Board. I don't even think the Central Statistical Board exists anymore. Modification of Executive Order Number 5082, March 22nd, 1929, withdrawing public lands, Oregon.
Where is this? You say?
These are. I'm just going through the executive order this PDF.
Yeah, is this on a PDF? Yeah, the first one, the first page is labeled 6713A.
Right. I mean,
right, wow.
This whole thing just goes on to. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's
interesting.
It goes.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah.
Listen, I have an anon that just DM'd me on Discord, and they have a little bit of insight into this, into this code stringer, the sig_con.
Right.
The March 39th one. I don't think he wants to mic up, but he is willing to jump on here on the text part, kind of type out his view on it. Can we go ahead and bring him in here?
Absolutely.
All right, let me get him.
Does he need an invite?
I don't know if I can invite him into. Oh yeah, I got you to the green room. All right, so yeah, just send him an invite.
Have him come on in here, and again, everybody, if you are, you want to participate in the green room, you can find it through my Patreon, and it's a cool scene. These guys are in there, and it is not strict. So if you're new to all this and you don't know anything, it's okay. We're not going to bite and yell at you and call you bad names. I don't know what to do with this PDF. I'm going to put the link in the chat room and see if somebody else wants to dig on it too.
I think it's interesting. There's a lot of references to the 30s.
Right, and what?
Right.
World War II. Pre-military industrial complex takeover. That's what it screams.
Right.
That's what it screams to me is the old America.
Interesting.
No, as you probably know, the 33, when they created the New Deal, that's when they flipped the system. They had to get rid of the constitutional lawful money, gold and silver, and go to this fiat system, which they set up in 1913.
So yeah, we're definitely looking at, like I said, stuff that somebody's link doesn't. That link works, yo.
All right, hey fellas, the guy, his
Grass.
his name is Grass. Yeah, he's like I said, he doesn't want to mic up, but he definitely has a thing. Grass, if you're listening, if you could just go ahead and type out what you told me and
yeah, he's there.
Just about that stringer, that would be fantastic.
He's in the Discord. I'm gonna throw that up on the screen, make it big for folks.
Fantastic.
Everybody in the Discord, you're on camera right now. Smile. Okay. So go ahead, grasp him. Hopefully he, I don't know if he's got ears on. He can always jump into the ops room and listen. Okay. Big thanks, you guys, the people that were throwing up the David Driscoll show and others for participating in the super chat. Makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
There's nothing but love and admiration on this side of the microphone, brother.
It's like that around.
That's right.
It's like that around here. It's pretty fantastic because when I first started this, I was scared as hell. It's like doing your first post on a chan or whatever. You just think everybody. I'm just waiting. Like I'm always waiting for the CIA to knock at my door and there's somebody.
Oh man.
I think you're overestimating the number of fucks that three-letter agencies get.
Oh no, I'm only kidding. In fact, I hear it from my girl all the time. She's like, I don't know, you're getting involved in that stuff. It's freaking me out. You got to put some tape over the webcam, and if they come, the government comes knocking at the door, I'm gonna be so mad at you. And I'm like, baby, they ain't got time. They got bigger things to worry about than this dumbass talking to you.
Wait, who took us off the gold standard? It's not FDR, right?
No.
Well, actually, FDR did start the process, and he tricked people in saying if you're a U.S. citizen, turn in your gold, and
right.
That's where the loss of legal memory came in, where people forgot that they had a class of citizenship tied to several states, what we call state citizens.
I want to discuss something about an event that's going to happen.
What happened to?
Roosevelt.
Well, in what regards, it's kind of open-ended question there. So
Saying he was a very sick man, got sicker and sicker.
yeah, well, of course, as you probably know.
He wasn't on their side. He wasn't deep state. He was, I believe, like just a normal, everyday type of politician that doesn't really, I don't know how many of them exist these days. But, you know, and I think that they got to him eventually.
Well, he sold out this. He sold out this country when that's going back to even Woodrow Wilson or the Civil War. The Civil War was contrived. They set this thing up for a purpose, and unfortunately, people stopped guarding the system. We stopped holding those people accountable.
I find it interesting he was propped up in office beyond the 8-year term. That's another interesting.
Right. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. You know, now I want to pull out all the things that are related to Roosevelt, and I got to say, my viewer Dee says love, 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 and dropped a $50 bill on me just now. So Dee, if you have a nail salon, a law firm, or you want to advertise your son's softball game, anything that you need from me, darling, you just let me know. Absolutely.
That was really sweet of you.
Really sweet. That was really, really cool. And if you guys were closer, they use that $50 and I'll go have a little dinner and talk about all this. That's really cool. So thank you, Dee. And then, so at first glance, this executive, I mean, this thing's huge. And I don't know, it's going to take some time to dig through it. I don't think it's just the first. I think everything in this PDF is the same executive order, right?
Oh no, it looks like the following page is labeled 6714.
Okay, so
it's
it would just be this first one.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a PDF archive of a series of executive orders.
Well, I don't know. I might have to say malarkey on this one because it's for the alcoholic beverage wholesale industry. Yeah,
it's a little odd, right? I don't understand how this makes sense.
Okay, well, let's look at this in the context of prohibition ending.
Interesting.
True.
Just because that was, because that's probably what it was about. With prohibition ending, naturally, you're going to have, you're going to have a wholesale industry. Let's take a look at, Colorado, for example. Okay, there's been a prohibition on marijuana for a long, long time. Suddenly it gets, recreationally legalized. Naturally, the state has to step in and have a set of, systems in place for people to wholesale, retail, whatever, cannabis to the people. So if you look at it through the lens of prohibition ending and then setting up some type of regulatory structure for the wholesale of alcoholic beverages, suddenly this PDF makes a little bit more sense.
Right. And that's something I actually have up on my screen right now for viewers to see an article from Fox. It says Attorney General Jeff Sessions to end policy that let legal pot flourish. And I think it could go. I think it could go either way. But I have to come back to the fact that Donald Trump is a businessman who's trying to build up the country. And speaking as somebody that has spent time in cannabis legal states, you will never see cleaner streets. You will never see nicer schools. You will never see cops with nicer uniforms, cars, or equipment than you'll see in Colorado. The tax dollars are insane, and there's no way that can be ignored. And for something to happen for Sessions, for the DEA to clamp down on the marijuana industry at this point would be a huge blow to the economy. It would be a huge... California would probably secede. And it just would... There's no way it could work at this point. The cat's out of the bag. People are buying legal weed, and now the point is to take, the way my opinion is to take that money and put it towards opiate rehabilitation and getting people off the opiate epidemic. And I think that ties into the whole storm because, as we know, the president declared war on the opiate epidemic, state of emergency. And one way to get the funds to get people their methadone and other things that they need is through cannabis regulation. So maybe you're onto something there with that, what you just said.
I've been, I've always thought that nationwide deregulation of cannabis, as far as it being a, how the Drug Enforcement Agency views it. I've always said that that's like Trump's literal trump card for the 2020 election. Because if you were to nationwide legalize cannabis, you'd have a shit ton of lefties that would immediately flip over to him. Because that's something that not even Obama was able to do.
Right.
Let's get it, descheduled.
Mm-hmm. But at this point, though, we're further down the road, and that's the thing. Honestly, it's like this. For anybody that doesn't, if you don't agree with cannabis legalization or whatever, that's fine. But I can tell you this: I've lived in the Emerald Triangle before legalization. And I've lived in Colorado post legalization, and I mean, the minute you drive over the border into Colorado, you can smell the cannabis growing in the air, and it's not a hippie, it's not a hippie orgy in the streets of people rolling around in weed. It's just everybody's normal. Denver is a very clean place. It's a very scary place because of the deep state's presence there. You can feel it, but it's huge. So I don't think Sessions is...
Airport, man.
Oh, dude. You been there?
Yeah, golly. Yeah, no. I've just seen pictures, but...
Oh, I've been there. I've been there. It's not cool, man.
Is it true they took the murals down or covered them?
They were there when I was there.
I thought I heard that they've since covered them or... painted over them or removed them or something. I don't remember.
And
I saw them, and not to get too far off the subject, but I'm trying to find a picture here. Is you drive basically through the desert, pretty much a high desert, and there's nothing. And then you start to see this huge group of teepees that look very surreal on the horizon. I mean, this airport is ginormous. And then you see the giant steed with the glowing red eyes lit up as you enter. And it is scary. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's the creepy. It's one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. And I met somebody that was in Denver that got arrested at a protest. And they took this person like they were taking them to jail, except they went through a door in the jail, went down an elevator for a couple minutes, got on a golf cart in handcuffs with one other person facing backwards, and spent about a half an hour driving down a tunnel at about 10-15 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Yeah. Tunnels under Denver, huge complexes under Denver. They put people down there.
There's always been rumors of that.
Yeah. I've heard it from a pretty reliable source.
Shit.
Yes. So and to get back on the PDF, I put the link up there for people. This executive order. I'm not sure how that plays in, but I do like the tie that you just made, Wayne, about the prohibition. It could be something. But is Q going to sit there and tell us?
It could just be the dates, possibly. It would have nothing to do with the executive order itself. It could just be the number. It could be anything.
Right.
We have no idea.
What else happened on May 22nd, 1934?
Oh, that's actually a good point.
Anybody listening that wants to dig, take a look. Somebody die on that day? Like, what else is in those? What else do we have?
What happened in 1934?
Post here. I got to get to your Reddit. Here we go. So that's in classified White House 67138. I mean, I can't imagine. And then signature confirmed. Wait. Could March 39 be March 1939? SV 36.
I was wondering the same thing. I don't know.
it could be, because right above it we're talking about the 32?
34.
34, and then 1939 would have been World War II.
I was going to say that the FDR was not against the deep state. He was actually an operative of that.
Okay, Grasp is saying exactly the dates. The SIG points to it.
Here you go, guys. Check that.
So everybody that's listening, basically what you're taking part in here and watching is we're just digging. That's basically what we're doing.
Autism in action.
Yeah, autism in action.
Yes. Weaponized autism is beautiful.
Here's what Ketchup Chick 82 says on Discord. I don't want to talk on mic, but I'll type things out. I believe Q is gematria. I took the code JGO. I don't even know. Gematria is in, isn't that numerology?
That's like Kabbalah.
Kabbalah. Yeah, Kabbalah.
Okay.
Kabbalah, however you say it.
You can see her, something about Bubba, Bill Clinton's nicknames. I don't know. To me, I can't. I think the dots are simpler to connect than that. But thank you for the insight. I don't think it gets. I'm going to put that in the chat room though. What somebody just said on the Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, just go to the link in the video.
Oh, well, speaking of, I just got reminded of this. Posted this Wikipedia thing. But do you remember that guy who was posted in the Discord yesterday about spooks going all over Wikipedia and deleting all sorts of information from articles?
Yeah, I do remember that. Actually.
Yeah, that was interesting stuff, dude.
What was that? They were just deteriorating things on the internet?
If he's on. Let me see if he's on. He'd be an interesting guy to do. That was some interesting stuff, yeah.
Absolutely.
There was some posts about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't really pay Wikipedia much heed.
This isn't really
Right. Well, right now, somebody put up the link. I don't know if you can see it in the Discord. The what happened on this day in 32. That's on this day in 32. Let's see. United States Post Office Department issues 12 stamps. 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. 18th Rose Bowl. Young gang shoots 6 police in Springfield, Missouri. Martial law is declared in Honduras to stop revolt by banana workers fired by Union Fruit. I'm just glancing through here. Mickey Mouse was syndicated. Oh, jeez. Nothing's jumping out at me yet, but it's a lot of stuff here. Oh, boy. I mean, obviously a lot of things happened in the world that day. Japanese forces attack Shanghai, January 28th. And this is just for that year, for 32.
Okay.
This is just not specifically for that date, but there could be something here.
What happened January 28, 1934?
But I do think, who else we have in the, who's that new person over in
I found this.
the ops? You guys see that? Interview ops. Renegade? Renegade? Renegade, you got ears on? Do we know who that person is? Seems like he's typing. Yeah, seems like they're typing. All right, we'll find out in a second. You got anybody in the chat room have questions for my guests regarding what they do all day or anything like that? And again, thanks D for that chat thing. It's pretty cool. Oh, okay, somebody just listening. That's fine. And that's the benefit of, I guess, you don't get the YouTube delay in the Patreon room. You don't get the screen, but you get that. So that's okay. Just don't talk. You want to hang out in there? That's fine. Don't talk. On this day, 1939, something happened with Hitler or something. I don't know. Let me see here. So,
were there any executive orders signed?
Yeah, let's look and see.
In that date range, like any time in March 1939.
All right, let's see here. A lot of stuff with Japan, obviously, because things were going down. You know what I mean? March 1939, like, man, the world was on fire.
Well, I saw something about Japan on one of the dates.
Germany.
29th. Yeah, Japanese destroyer Miyuki sank in a collision with another Japanese destroyer in the Korea Strait.
Nazi Germany dissolves Republic of Czechoslovakia. Germany occupies Czechoslovakia. Hungary annexes Republic of Ukraine.
Hey fellas, listen, I'm gonna throw up a tweet in your. I just came across this. I'm gonna throw this up in the chat room. This is from Drudge earlier. I wonder if you guys know anything about it, because as you can see, it just says 1,000 arrested with no other explanation.
Interesting.
Has anyone seen anything about this? Or this was this morning around 8:30.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, so I'm pulling up Drudge right now. I don't see any headlines on here about 1,000 arrested. Do you guys know anything about this, or what? Have you guys heard anything?
My initial.
I've heard a number of times that that January 4th was going to be a big day.
Yeah.
From a number of different sources. So
it said 1,000. I got it up on the screen now. Let me pull this Discord off so everybody can see it. I saw that popped up. Right. I saw that. That was like one of the first I saw this morning, and I was like, what in the heck is this? The only thing I could connect it to was I feel like I saw a story yesterday about MS-13 gang members being arrested.
Interesting.
But I don't remember where I saw it, and I haven't gone back. So this tweet, I'm glad that you thanks Wayne that you put that up, because I would have totally spaced it. I think I even might have retweeted it. I'm going to retweet it now if you guys follow me so you know what.
It was so a Bobo that did it. That was a Bobo.
Thanks, Bobo. Oh, yeah, I see it. No, thanks, Bobo.
Yeah, I take credit for that.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Bobo?
What do I think about Wayne? I think he's a great guy. I'm glad he's on our side.
That's not what you were saying earlier, dude. No, what do you think about the 1,000 arrested, this thing? What you just
honestly, I really don't want to speculate. Again, this could be anything. It is kind of a shocking thing just to see, like 1,000 arrested. ... Is it more to come?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how I feel about Drudge really, because he's been kind of like back and forth on the whole, as far as his view of the Trump administration, and sometimes it's a little right leaning, sometimes it's left leaning.
Yes.
Yesterday, like if you guys check out, this is just yesterday. One of the biggest things on Drudge was the whole Bannon thing about Bannon throwing, throwing Trump under the bus and so forth. So I don't know what That being said, this 1,000 arrested, hopefully it has to deal with those sealed indictments. Maybe we'll get more news throughout the day.
Did you see the thing that they were saying on North Korea yesterday? Let me see. I'll put that in for you. It's funny that you say that about Drudge, because I do check Drudge daily, because if you go through, it's like sifting through a dumpster, and most of it is crap, but every once in a while you'll find something that kind of leads you in a certain direction. A lot of it is shilled disinfo, a lot of baloney about weed and UFOs and stuff like that. But yesterday they put up a story that's actually old news. It would have been from last year, I guess. That North Korea accidentally hit Ulm City with ballistic missile.
Yes, I did see that. It was pretty just wild.
Right, and it's old news. It's not new. It didn't just happen.
There we go. We got someone joining us.
Nice. Oh, Baruch, welcome, dude.
A couple people joining us. How about that?
Because what we're doing here, folks, we're talking about things in the news they don't generally talk about and bring into the public eye and a repetition.
Hello. Well, this is awesome.
Are we alive right now?
Yeah, we certainly are.
Oh, goodness, I don't want to be lying. I'll see you later. Sorry, I didn't know you were going to. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Tracy.
Sorry. No, I'm not prepared for this. Like, I'm very unprepared.
Oh, nobody's prepared. Have you ever heard my show before? I have no idea what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. We're just basically.
It's a pretty relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah.
There should have been some sort of warning. By the way, when you.
The room's called Interview Ops.
Like I said, I'm totally not prepared for this right now.
Before you run away, can I ask you a question or two? Sure. Can you? Everybody's saying hello to you in the chat room. First of all, I'm sure.
Hi guys.
The people that watch me, I'm sure, are the same people that watch you. what do you think about? I want to put them up. On what happened last night, just the drops. Do you have insight as to any of this? What are you thinking?
No, I think it's really cool that we got 10 days and then we got confirmation from code from the admin on HM that there's a super secure chip, and then as the logo said, not even a day or two later we get Q. So I think that's super interesting. And not delved into all of what they, he said or they said yet. Been handling business to say so far, but I think it's great. I think I'm looking forward to seeing the interview this evening with WikiLeaks, Assange's mom, and Kryko.
Right. And I was like, oh, this is confirmation for 10 days.
Yeah, and it'll be us backwards to see why as well.
Right.
Be good.
And then you probably didn't catch it, but I think somebody put up a link to this PDF that was Executive Order 6713A, and it's weird because it has to do with like alcohol wholesale or something like that.
Yeah, there were 3, and there was also inside of that little legislative session, I believe there was actually 3 other orders. One of them relating to human trafficking.
Right. Do you have a? Hold on. Does that? So many people are sending me info right now that I can't even. It's making my head spin. I'm sure it happens to you guys too. Barak, you just joined us too, dude. And I wanted to know if you had insight as to anything within these new key posts.
Did he just go in and out there? You might want to ask him.
Class Bueller.
Barak is the HN board owner.
Right.
And he's like, definitely plugged in. I've been waiting to hear from him like all morning.
Yeah, we need him.
Wake up, hurry, brother.
Where are you?
He's been feeling kind of sick. So.
Right. And then, Tracy, did you see, where is it? What was the other thing I wanted to ask somebody else about? Oh, are you on board with the possibility that A&B Matlock is Ambassador Matlock?
I mean, yeah, that lines. This is why a lot of people ask me, this is like the only time I've really said this out loud. A lot of people ask me and basically say, like, you're always like 3 or 4 or 5 days behind, or 2 or 3 days behind.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is because I'm not interested in necessarily breaking that there has been a communication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested in waiting for things to play out a little bit and doing a lot of research to then present information that is most likely credible, the thing that we're being goaded to look at. So I won't come out today and make a video about these posts. I will wait and I will dig and work with all these amazing people that we have working before I'll come out and say anything about it. So yeah, that's a possibility for sure, but I wouldn't bet my life on it. I mean, I just basically figured out the whole which presidents used the armed forces to save the republic thing a couple weeks ago. So, and that was in the first set of posts.
Very cool. Barak is here.
Yeah, I think he's working.
Okay, I'm leaving. I love you guys, but I'm leaving so you can talk to the real important people that are on this little show.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice seeing you, Tracy.
Barak.
Guys, how are you doing?
Hey. Welcome aboard.
Hey, guy.
Welcome aboard. So what do you got for us? Lay it on us. Just download.
Yeah, ask him what you asked him before. I don't think he heard you.
Oh, Jesus. I don't remember.
I think you were asking for input about the 3 newest posts.
Well, yeah, but anything he's got. Whatever you got to say, man. What do you think about what happened? Anything you can give us information behind the scenes? Anything. How this went down? Everything.
Yeah, I've been a bit busy modding the post, just making sure the announcements went up and the shows got banned, just keeping things running. I have looked at the posts. Nothing jumps out at me except for the one titled Monday, where obviously POTUS's Twitter says on Monday I'll be giving my fake news awards. So I think that there's some connection there. Australia, yeah, I didn't recognize any of that. I like the executive order idea, although I've just read through that whole PDF.
You did, the whole thing?
I can see it, so I just went through it all. I didn't see anything that was really relevant to us.
Mm-hmm. What about the dates, though? Could that be, that's one thing we were talking about before, is maybe the date is important.
Yeah, I was listening to you earlier talking about like that day in history. Didn't see anything that jumped. I mean, yeah, look, maybe somebody out there will know. That's the beauty of this. Somebody out there will say, "Aha! This was the day that FDR,
I saw something about it actually.
Yes.
I posted it. Did you guys catch that? Let me see if I can find that again.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, please. I think The Great Actors is a reference to this fight between Bannon and POTUS. I think it's all a big play.
Yes.
Stage play.
Agree.
So, and of course, the lefty media are going ballistic about it, which is what he wants.
Yes.
They never learn, do they?
No, and while you're speaking about that, I really want to point out to people, because I talk about it all the time, I think we talked about it last time you guys are on, is that the news cycle, you can really kind of tell. I really feel like the deep state, the opposition, everything, has been wanting to pull something off so bad, and they can't say, I think they keep getting shut down, and things, it's like yesterday, it was all chatter about a North Korean launch, to the point where I went live and I was watching the planes, and the airspace over China and over the Sea of Japan and over the over the entire Korean Peninsula was vacant. And it's never like that. There's always 24 hours a day. There's cargo planes and stuff in China, and there was nothing. And I was like, oh man, something's going to go down. And then this morning, it goes. All of a sudden, it goes. It's off. In the news, it says, "Oh, North Korea ain't going to test anything." And then right now, I have up on the screen another from the New York Post from 1 hour ago. North Korea crashed missile into its own city during failed test. So I'm sitting here thinking, is this predictive programming to tell us that North Korea, we don't have to take out North Korea, they're going to blow them on their, whoops.
That was a while ago.
It was last year. It was last year, but it's news now.
I wonder if this is a signal. I think that lack of air traffic over that section of Asia is very suggestive. Maybe it's possible that North Korea is being disabled right now in secret. It's a good guy paying attention.
Why are you bargaining at me?
And taking them out. There's confidence. It could be. We'll see.
I'm showing on the screen right now so people can see the flight radar. And if you look to the west of Pyongyang and Seoul, you'll see there's probably a dozen or so aircraft in the air over China, and I'm sure if I went north, it'd be over Russia. And at this time, the planes are approaching the Korean Peninsula from the east and the west. Yesterday, the air was vacant over China, and every single flight was inbound only to what do you call it? I'm not good with my Korean words. Incheon. They were flying into Incheon, but listen to what they were doing, okay? They were flying only over the land from the south in a direct, from south to north landing pattern. And right now you can see on my screen they're coming in from the east and the west. They were only coming in from one direction. Yeah, it was pretty weird, and I was sitting there.
So it's a massive military operation over the land of North Korea, would be my guess.
Absolutely. There was also a plane, an army plane, that went halfway across the peninsula from Incheon. It was a recon, and it turned around and flew back exactly the same. And also a bunch of sniffers went up, and anti-ballistic missile planes were up.
Hello, fly. Anyone home? Yeah. So okay, should we say that was AWAC, like up and down the border, basically?
Right.
Things. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm guessing, of course, but I imagine that's a reasonably good guess that something very big just happened in North Korea.
Yeah, they're not telling us. Nobody's telling us.
The button is probably was probably the go or some kind of configuration. Remember yesterday he said he had a bigger button or the day before than Kim, and it worked.
Right.
Interesting. That's a good infographic for somebody to make. Showing the flight radar and what the planes were and what it implies.
Right, and I'm just throwing this out, but wouldn't it be convenient if they just blew their own asses up? If somebody, you know what I mean?
By some coincidence,
Whoops.
Maybe.
I hear you, but I think that the problem is that North Korea doesn't actually exist.
Exactly.
The whole country is
at least not in the sense that we have been told, right?
Right.
But it's this giant fake facade that where the elites go and play and conduct these horrendous experiments on people, and they make their own nukes, and they breed and they traffic children and they plunder all the mineral resources. Because North Korea has got unimaginable amounts of minerals, like 6 or 7 trillion.
By all rights, they should be a very wealthy country. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to jump in here. And thank one of our viewers here, Allie Clark. She says thank you all for the amazing work. God bless, love from Canada. And she dropped a $50 bill on me right there in the super chat. So I'm like,
that's very sweet.
Boing, that's just amazing. And we got to do something all together, you guys, like a virtual dinner or something, because this is crazy.
Don't worry about it.
Somebody likes our work, and that's enough for me. I love getting prayers and thank yous and all that. While I have your brains here, I want to know if you guys think that this has to do with anything. To me, it's the most important news in the world right now. And let me see if I can pull it up here. Researchers found 2 major security flaws in processors that affect most of the world's computers. And these are the meltdown and Spectre flaws. And I'm actually going to show you guys.
This is what WikiLeaks posted about on Twitter.
Excuse me. Yeah, I honestly think this is the biggest deal in the world. I'm going to actually show on my screen right now, people, what a meltdown extraction looks like. This is basically, to me, proof somebody stumbled upon an NSA, whatever, backdoor that has been in place since 1994. And this is what it looks like. Let's see if I can, hopefully it'll work.
This is the Intel processor bug, isn't it?
Yes, 2 of them. And, alright, here it is. Here it is. Oh, it doesn't seem to want to play on my stupid thing now. Oh, maybe it's, hold on. I've got it all set up here, and I think I blew it. Let me see here.
Where's the
Oh, there it is. Here it is, you guys.
Post the link to your live stream again, real quick.
Say that again.
Can you post up the link to your live stream?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have it up. Thank you.
Absolutely. So you guys that are watching on the screen right now, this is basically an attack that can happen to any computer. This is any computer in the world, including the computer I have in front of me, including your phone.
Yeah, with the Intel CPU. Yeah.
Yeah, it can anything, and it's not just Intel either. If you read the article, it's AMD and ARM processors also.
Right.
So it's not just AMD or Intel. It's this whole.
Everything.
Yeah, including, it says in this article, including your phone, including your tablet, anything. It's basically anything with a microprocessor can be accessed without any sudo. Without any,
think about all the cloud connected devices that are out there now with microprocessors in them. Refrigerators, televisions, ovens, everything. That's crazy.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I really emphasize people understanding how these political systems work and the law works. It's not too difficult once people dig in, because as you're mentioning, they can take over our computers, they can put child porn in there, they can plant drugs in our car, they can do whatever they want. And if we know the law, we can block them. So then their efforts are done.
I gotta do it again. It's getting crazy over here. Thank you, Sue, for your super chat. That's insane. Thank you, guys. I guess we give a good show here because this is good information that people want to hear. And it's the whole reason I started the channel, to be honest with you, because I wasn't getting everything that I wanted to hear in one place. I had to go to this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. So I'm trying to like put it all under one roof. That's why when I have people like you guys on, I don't just want to talk about the Chans. And maybe it's a good relief for you since you guys are knee deep in it all day, or neck deep, I should say. So, Barak, do you see how this release of this meltdown inspector flaw, the way it ties into the storm? Do you see that from your angle?
Yeah, I do. I've known that Intel have had a management engine inside CPUs. Some guy managed to reverse engineer that a couple of months ago. I read on Hacker News. Some guy reverse engineered. It's actually based on Linux.
Yes.
Sort of teaching tool version of Unix written by a very good Dutch researcher, Andy Tannenbaum, 30 years ago. And Intel had the stripped down version of Linux on each CPU, which is how they keep an eye on us and how they, send pictures to and from our PCs and blah, blah, blah. I also know that Intel have been struggling with quality in CPUs for a while now. I think mainly because they've been overrun with clouds. What's her name? Jenna, someone who the Q dropped on us on the chance, and I think that she was like a clown from way back then. I mean, I'm talking the 80s, and then she steadily rode through the organization, despite being useless. So she was CEO, and she almost certainly was in charge of making sure that all the CPUs had a management engine. I'm guessing, but I think it's a pretty good guess.
Risen like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Intel in cloud control since the very beginning, I would say.
Yeah, it's not a bug. That's the thing. Is it's being put out like it's there's some mistake.
Built from the ground up.
Absolutely.
No, the management engine is very deliberate. This particular, the bug that people are talking about, we're talking about last week, caused Intel's stock to go down so much and it needs to go up so much that seems to be, another of Intel's quality problems. I don't know whether it's related to this exploit that the NSA built in. But again, I do know it's the NSA. It's what I like. They're the good guys.
Right. Well, what bothers me though, and I really think we all of us here should participate in this, is that this is not as big a news as it should be. It's being advertised like it's just another Windows flaw or some kind of operating system.
It's so much more than that.
It's so much more than that. I mean, you can see on the screen there's just this meltdown, and then the command, and then what you're looking at is basically just a dump of everything in someone's computer memory. It just makes me want to burn all my electronics and go live in the woods.
Right? Scary stuff. That's really scary stuff.
You need to ask I.M. about that. He's the expert.
Ask who? I.M.? You got something?
Yeah.
Right.
No, in future, you should talk to him about becoming independent from the system.
Oh.
There is actually a way to get off the gravy train, or their gravy train. And it involves doing your own claim, your own Paramount claim and notice, getting a certified copy from the recorder's office. It's very neat, because then they can't do anything. They're shut down.
Really? You have that broken down in some sort of tangible form?
Yeah. Well, to a degree,
a whole show with him.
Yeah, there is a website that shows people the beginning parts of it, the foundation, which is nativeborncitizen.com, and I created a channel for Discord, but I'm building it up right now. But it at least gets people to recognize how the two systems operate. And it's always done through our voluntary consent, our participation. They can only get us if we agree to it.
Right.
Whether it's been in our contracts or whether what we call our express acts or through our implied acts, which is our conduct.
Well, I'm going to have you. If you could invite me to your server, and I'd like to have you on sometime, and we'll talk about that, because I think that's important information that a lot of people would want to have. And
hey, I got a. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. That's.
I just got a tip. Another tip on the 6713A that here. Let me post this up. All right, there we go. U.S. code.
Okay, U.S. code, Title 26, Subtitle F, Chapter 68. Let me put this up on the screen.
There's 67138.
Yeah.
Imposition of penalty if any person who is engaged in the business of preparing or providing services in connection. In connection with the preparation of returns of tax imposed by Chapter 1, or any person who for compensation prepares any such return, or any other person, and who 1 discloses any information furnished to him for or in connection with the preparation of any such return, or 2 uses any such information for any purpose other than to prepare or assist in preparing any such return, shall pay a penalty of $250 for each such disclosure or use, but the total amount imposed under this subsection on such a person for any calendar year shall not exceed $10,000.
Is this possibly getting at those people who need the tax returns?
Could be, huh? That's the first thing I thought.
Because, I mean, can you imagine Rachel Maddow getting hit with number of viewers of MSNBC times $250? That would be quite, well, not that many, but it would still be a lot of money.
Oh, man, you're right.
It would be at least $10,000.
You're right. Holy cow. Man.
Sorry, can I just go back quickly to the comments about electronics and burning? I think this year in tech is going to be.
Alright, chill out.
Hey guys, I think this is it. I think they're going to the tax leaders. I think you're right.
And they're going to indict all the news outlets that reported on them. That's what's going to happen on Monday. The hammer is going to drop on the MSN.
Damn.
Let me ask this question here real quickly. Was there more than just one tax return leak that Matt all did this huge show and it was do nothing, nothing burger?
What is wrong with you?
Was there more tax returns leaked?
Anyone? I don't know. I can't answer.
Well, I remember the show was a big disaster. Because it shows that POTUS paid more over and above what he should pay in tax, way more than Bernie, for example.
I think it has something else. It's something else than that. I mean, I don't think it's anything about the tax returns. I think maybe it could possibly, without reading this yet, I'll look at it, maybe people who are preparing or doing the taxes for these nonprofits that deal with human rights or something like that could be.
Yeah, that's a good point, Wayne. So it could be something like the Clinton Foundation or the John McCain Foundation, these shady foundations that are just operations.
The CPAs are the ones that they know how to move the data between the accounting. So.
Right.
Hey fellas, listen for a second. I gotta dip out. I just like to thank you for having me on. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be on here with you guys.
You're welcome anytime, bro.
Yeah, I gotta dip. Like I said, I got mob duties and stuff I'm neglecting by listening to this conversation.
Right.
Which is not, it's not that I don't want to be here. It's just that we gotta step in.
You got stuff to do. Thank you so much for coming on, Bobo.
It's my pleasure.
Bobo, if you want a good laugh, look at the Van Appeals queue.
I left them up just because of that, dude. Because some of these.
Well, I left them up for you to have a look, but I don't like enjoying this stuff by myself.
It's hilarious, man. I've been going through the band list and laughing at the reasons too, man. I've been enjoying it. Anyway, guys, I gotta get back to you all, because like I said, we got 8chan is blowing up right now. I got other stuff on our other Discord. Plus, I haven't even been on Reddit yet.
Right on.
Yeah, we're on here. So.
Right on.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Good thinking, buddy.
Thank you.
Have a great day. I look forward to hopefully we get some more Q crumbs later on in the day too.
Yeah.
You guys take care. Have a great one.
Me
Right?
too.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, dude.
So before I set you guys all free, just to recap, we had new post last night. You guys, I say you guys, meaning the people behind the scenes at the Chan, vetted this info to the best of your abilities, and as far as we know, it is authentic drops, right?
You have a good one, bro.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so Code Monkey, who's the administrator of 8chan, in other words, he runs the website and he has direct access to the live software running the website. He said, this is Q. I think it was you went and checked the logs, the IP address and device, the hash. You know, because we don't see what the IP address is, obviously, but we do see a unique hash of the connection information. And we could compare that to the previous connections by verified Q posts. Yes, it's Q.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
This is the real thing.
No worries. Nothing for anybody to worry about. Nobody was fooled.
No, this is the real thing.
Nobody was fooled. And then, and as far as I know, Pamphlet didn't want to speculate, but I have a feeling you might want to speculate as far as any meaning within the posts that you've taken out or your first impressions. I'm gonna pull them up here if I can find. I got so many screens open. Oh, there we are. Is anything out of these posts that you can interpret for us to the best of your guesstimation?
Well, I actually think Monday, that's the key word there. Yeah, but I'm gonna wait and see. I think there will be stuff on. I think the great actors, the actors' comment is about Trump versus Biden at the moment.
Right.
But I think we need to keep an eye on. We need to keep an eye on. We need to keep an eye on Post's Twitter because he's suddenly been very active, and he did mention Monday in his fake news awards tweet. So there's a confirmation. Q cross-referencing the president's Twitter. As for the stringer, I haven't looked at. I think RR out. That is probably Rod Rosenstein. I haven't figured out P_PERS yet. That is interesting. Somebody said weeks ago that it was Panama Papers. This is not the first time Q has used this particular little phrase. Executive Order Classified White House 6713A. That could easily be either going after tax speaking to say the media, or it could be something we're missing with regards to a Roosevelt executive order. I think just let's keep an open mind about these.
Right. Oh, I have a question from the chat room. Allie Clark, who is a sponsor, I guess, of this program, just contributed $10. She said, "Is there a way to donate to these guys from 8chan?"
Please, no money for us, please. This is not for money. This is for love and duty. I'm serious. We all agree that we're not doing this for money.
Well, I'm gonna figure out a way, and I'm gonna send them pizzas or something, everyone. So fear not. Anything I can do. And also, I want to let you guys know I have things like.
Don't make it pizza because that has like bad connotations.
Oh my God! Let's not let that happen. People still need to eat pizza. For the love of God, please don't let all this. Please don't let all this ruin a delicious food.
Yeah, you're right.
Please, for the love of God. So if I want to send you a pizza, you're going to eat some pizza. That's all there is to it, and I mean that in the most innocent, non-corrupted way possible. I'm not going to let disgusting people take. We can call it something else. Maybe we need to call it cheese pie. I don't know.
Just to reiterate, no money, please.
No,
I'd rather you donate to like a reliable foster kids organization, because they've gone through hell, as we're about to find out, or a veterans organization, something like that. Be my guest.
Okay.
But yeah,
make a contribution. Make a contribution to, like you said, the Veterans Association or something like that. And the same thing goes for me. By all means, please do. I'm definitely not looking to get rich or anything here. This is all like, I guess, anybody wants to support. That is awesome, and we try to give you something back for it, which is discussions like this. And I know you guys have important work to do, and I think we should just kind of go into a holding pattern for that.
Just stay as long as you like. I mean, I don't know how you're going anymore, but.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Well, so I know you're admin, so.
Yeah, please excuse me. I'm working on the Q Code Fag website. It's kind of breaking right now, so I'm working on just a simple forms-based thing where you can search by trip, by 4chan or 8chan, by keyword, and you can interactively generate diagrams between the different connections that Q is making this post. So maybe we can, once it all works, you guys can go in there and you can just see, maybe you can find connections in the map that we're missing, because there's a lot in the map you can understand. So yeah, I'm just working on that tool right now, and it should be ready real soon now.
Can I ask,
the next couple of days.
Can I ask you really quick your opinion on this? Because I'm scrolling through Twitter for the viewers to see what's going on there, and what's with the Q Twitters? In my opinion, they're all bunk. But
yeah, I don't think Q uses Twitter.
Yeah, me either. They're interesting posts, though. I'm not going to lie. They're definitely interesting, artistic posts that make you think. But I don't. I think it's just another autistic person.
Yeah, no, it is. It's and one who happens to be on Twitter, I think.
Right. Okay. And then, boy, something happened with. Let me see here. It's just disgusting how dead the news is right now. As far as like we're just talking about snow, like it's not the winter.
I think they're waiting for something big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think also they got orders. In fact, it was like flipping a switch.
How so?
And the next day, suddenly the Trump bashing vanished from the airwaves.
Absolutely.
It was quite striking, actually. It was about 4 or 5 days ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Can you confirm?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then suddenly it was all about the weather and, the local softball game and, dog saves baby. It was nothing to do. There was no by Russia. There was no, it was just back to a very average sort of normal, boring news cycle.
Right. And then also, and by the way, North Korea blew themselves up last year. And we didn't really talk about it much then, but we're going to talk about it now.
It's
that's fishy to me.
The clowns have had their shoes cut off.
Right. To me, that's very fishy. That goes down. Anything that has to do with North Korea, I'm automatically, to me, I'm just like, it's psyop all over the place. Psyop, and then obviously.
Today. Sorry,
No. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to remind everyone today, if some of the tips we received from other white hats is correct, 41020 not only stands for DJT and Donald J. Trump, but it also refers to the 4th of Jan, the 10th of Jan, and the 20th of Jan. And if we've heard the rumors about Julian swirling around, you remember Q's last post on Christmas Day, his previous last post, was a stringer addressed to Julian Assange specifically. He could be being released today, officially. He could be being pardoned. That could be going down. So we might have a bit more news later today.
Dude, that just gave me chills when you said that. That just gave me.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, man. The 4th, the 10th, and the 20th this month.
Yeah. Don't take my word for it. Go and look at the Q map.
Has he tweeted anything?
Julian Assange's Twitter has been very interesting since he deleted it and then re-enabled it.
I agree.
He followed a whole lot of different accounts that he was following before.
Yeah, and there's two. there's two accounts that nobody seems to. I still can never make up my mind as to which I want to buy.
Julian Assange is the Julian Assange is his real account. The one real Assange is a false account.
Right, fake. See, I was like looking at it backwards for the longest time because it seemed fishy with the following. You know.
Rogue underscore something. Which one is that?
No.
That looks like That looks something like.
You mean Kill Rogue? Is that what you mean? The Kill Rogue?
Yeah, Kill Rogue. That could be something to do with Assange.
Oh my God!
I'm not ruling it out. I'm not ruling it out.
Oh my God! You guys don't believe this, but yesterday on my show, yesterday I showed like right on my screen right now, I have Assange's Twitter up, right? And yesterday I did the same thing. I pulled it up, and the follow button is white, and I wasn't following. So after the show, I was like, well, I gotta follow Julian again. So I click follow, and then right now you can see I was automatically unfollowed from him again.
Oh, wow.
I just had to follow him yet again.
I'll have to check mine.
Yeah, and then we have the, as everybody can see here on the screen, the Mia, MIA song.
So you're saying nobody can follow Julian right now?
No, I'm saying that they're taking their ghost, their what do you call it, shadow. Taking his follow just automatically. I know for a fact. Yesterday, the same thing happened. I said, I even said on the show, I said, why is this unfollowed? And then after the show, I went on and I clicked follow. And lo and behold, here it is again, gone. I had to follow again. So somebody keeps disconnecting me from him. Thank you, Teddy Vile, in Super Chat. Real cool. You got a car wash or a daycare center or something you're running for office, please let me know and I'll tell everybody about it here. And then, so yeah, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes the same thing happens on YouTube. It happened when I broke 10,000 followers. I was all excited or whatever. I was like, I got 10,000 subscribers. It's really cool. I went to bed. I woke up with like 8,500 and had to do it all over again. And I asked Tracy Beans about it. She's like, yeah, YouTube will do that. It'll just knock a bunch of people off and stuff. So it's kind of like a soft censorship.
Tech here. Did you guys hear about this? It says Rep. Devin has announced late Wednesday that his panel, the House Intelligence Committee, appears to have reached an agreement with the Justice Department to gain access to all documents and witnesses it sought by a deadline at the end of the day.
Today.
That happened yesterday.
Which investigation was that again, Papa? Remind me, please. Nunes was what? Which documents were related?
Like Rob Rosenstein and.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, all the documents.
All documents and witnesses it sought. It says reach an agreement with the Justice Department to gain access to all documents and witnesses it sought by a deadline at the end of the day. That was yesterday.
Damn. So, but there's obviously we're not going to know about that until it's going to take some time.
We will. Yeah. Well, man, please really excuse me. Thanks for being on the show. A pleasure as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for the good work you do. I got to go work.
Yeah, man. Thank you for all the work. If anybody doesn't have an idea how much what you have to do behind the scenes, it's insane. It's not an easy job that either of you guys are doing, and we've talked about how little you sleep.
I want the best mod team in the world, man.
Absolutely. So if you ever, anytime you have breaking info or something like that you want to talk about, or you need some help with something or anything like that, Barak, you know where we are. So thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Cheers, guys. Have a good day.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to mention something because the recent chat was about what Google's doing and Facebook and Twitter. I have evidence of the shadow banning and all sorts of little shenanigans they're doing. I've also noticed with my tweets, they'll change the words of my tweets. I've had it where they added a whole sentence to one of my tweets. And then they stick people after me and they harass me like trolls. That's why I mentioned the word peanut butter, because I'm noticing some of these trolls in their profiles will have the word peanut butter. And so they'll come after me and attack me language. This is like a Sure, and I even had someone from Stratford Intelligence send one of my tweets over to the Defamation League. And the ADL, like the FPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Centers, are very sick organizations. They actually need to be shut down for what they do.
Really? So it's, I've been having, since my little meteoric rise here, every day it gets a little weirder on the internet. I'm not going to lie. I've got some pretty nasty shill messages and stuff like that coming from the woodwork. And it's all, a lot of complaining about it. Just useless kind of distractions. And also on Twitter, I have noticed, the cross-platform harassment where people will come over from YouTube and they'll come over and give me a hard time on Twitter, but they're not giving me a hard time about my content. Do you know what I mean?
They rarely attack the content. They'll just say you're crazy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
One trick I do is I always try to get the focus back to the substance, instead of the form or whatever else they're trying to do. To crowd them back, and I also try to put them in a box as far as if they can't have a civilized discussion, then that's evidence they're a troll. So I flip the script on them.
Exactly. My thing is that if somebody can tell me I'm gonna shoot you in the face or something, I'm like, well, I'll pray for you tonight. You'll be in my prayers, and that seems to diffuse them pretty quick. They expect you to scream back, and that's one of the things I want to tell people. But you will get attacked for your beliefs in this entire situation, because the cabal, the deep state, the programming is deep. It's been our whole lives. It's been our parents' lives. Like we are, even us, even people that have been red pilled and are awake. We still don't know even a percentage of what we really deserve to know as people on this planet. So. We have a long way to go, So I think it's important though that we have conversations like this. Right now we have about 600-700 people listening, and to me that's a huge red pill.
I was going to say that too. They attack, okay, and it's easy to hit them back and attack back. But I would say. Definitely, what I've been trying to do is not call them names, because that's what they want. Mm-hmm. That's the ammunition they need to make us. They're bad people. We can do this. We try to diffuse them as much as we can.
Yeah, you have to. You can't engage people. Oh, here's a really stupid. Here's a little story about a fuel tank belonging to a Tornado fighter jet was found mysteriously abandoned in a garden. There's a fuel tank in England from a Tornado fighter. It's a weird story, but what was the other? Something went down here that I really need another opinion on, and see if I can get it. There was. Oh God, I got too many tabs open. Bear with me. I wanted to know, with the North Korea thing, the telephone. Have you seen all this? The north-south, the landline that they reopened?
No.
Okay, well, basically, let me see if I can. Let me see.
I didn't know they reopened.
No, they did as of I believe yesterday. So all of a sudden we have the talk of all of a sudden we have the talk of, hey, we want to be on the Olympics.
Yeah.
And hey, we're going to open up, let me see if I can find it. We're going to open up this communication line. But see, the thing is, oh my God, it's hiding from the news. It shows this picture of this guy, Korean guy, sitting in front of this really stupid looking console with these phones on it. And the news story today, I can't find anything about it right now. It's just it's all about the accident that happened, like it happened today. But the news story was called the South, pretty much just to say hi. They didn't have anything to say, and they'd call back later if they had anything to say. That's the news, dude. I'm looking for it crazy right now. Let's see if I can. North Korea call. See if I can find. Okay, here it is. North Korea calls hotline to the South for the first time And
what is up with that?
It's really weird. South, for the first time in 2 years, they called, and it's right after the Trump button thing. And I'm trying and they had a conversation, but then there's this story about how I tweeted about it and a little while ago. Now I don't see it. But they basically, here it is.
Kim Jong-un has warned the U.S. that North Korea's nuclear capability is a reality, not a threat. He was reviving his grandfather's tradition of an ear's message. Bloomberg editor Jody Schneider joins us now from Hong Kong.
Some baloney and that is some mind control about North Korea. But anyway, I thought that was really weird because they all of a sudden they want to talk and everybody's saying that. So what I'm thinking is it's like some sort of tactic to get them to. I really think that something bad's going to happen to them of their own doing, or we're going to make it look like it's their own doing, and all this points to it. Like, poor North Korea. They were going to make it. They were going to turn around. They were just starting to talk to the South. They were going to come play games, and then they blew themselves up. We got to send them some. We need to send them humanitarian aid because it was bad. They didn't mean it. And now we're going to send some troops over there to just help. Don't come over here though. Nobody come over here because it's radioactive. Don't come here. Whatever you do, we're gonna start mining. That's my 2 cents on that. Something fishy. There's something fishy with the whole North. I know everybody says that North Korea is deep state control. I don't think it makes any difference. There's still so much fishy stuff.
They have everything to do with that sketchy.
Yeah, and the way the news is reporting it is all super fishy.
Yeah, this whole invitation to the Olympics is super sketchy as well. I just can't think of why they would do that. Like maybe it's kind of like a guarantee of safety, like they want to attack themselves at the Olympics or something.
Yeah, why do they suddenly want to be at the Olympics? Why is it? Right. See, what I was thinking is that they want.
Do they want to, or are they being forced to?
No, I think what they want is they want to participate, and they want to be included, and then they want to get us kicked out.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking. Or they just want to beat us.
How would that work?
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I guess Trump could say something that they would deem so offensive that the Olympic Committee would ban us. I mean, that is a possibility. I don't know, because they're not gonna. All I could think of is, man, they're gonna bomb the hell out of the Olympics if they're just right there. Then well, there's all the Americans and everybody else. So, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. They want to participate. And then the other things I can think of is if you want to break it down and you want to take the deep state out of it, let's just take the deep state out for a second and imagine that Kim Jong-un is who he says he is, and he's a maniacal dictator. Maybe he just really wants to beat us. It's downhill skiing and rub it in our face. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like propaganda.
I like that. That's a great theory.
Yeah, for propaganda purposes. You know what I mean? It's for propaganda purposes. Like North Korea is best Korea, and we're gonna go down there and kick Seoul's butt, and we beat the Americans at the slalom.
Jeez.
You know, that's the best I could think of.
That'll be the day, right?
Yeah, he's gonna wear his best suit, put his hair up, and off they go to the Olympics. Wayne, are you with me on that at all? Does any of that tickle your taint? He's gone.
I'm here. I'm sorry, guys. Were you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Wayne fell asleep.
Yes, sir. I'm asking you. Basically, we were just talking about North Korea and the Olympics and why the heck suddenly they're talking and they got the phone and they want to play in the Olympics.
Then who was phone?
And what?
Nothing. Never mind.
I'm not sure how to speculate on that one. So
yeah, I mean, I just did a halfway decent job, but I could be so far off. So we're nearing the top of the broadcast, and I'm going to just quickly go over what we've talked about. We basically said that we got it straight from board owners, admins. I don't know if that's a good word to use. the Chan that the Q posts are secure and can be considered to be reliable, and then who was phone is what you said. And we have these new posts, and we are not. These guys don't ever want to speculate on anything, which I totally understand. But my whole job is to sit here and just speculate wild things.
Observers, you have a number of free resources available to you in this community. It has been said, I'm a bad businessman for saying this, but I will say it once again. I don't want a cent from any of you before you check out all of the free material.
It takes the power of leadership to confront fear.
How many men will survive?
Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a huge report that I want to share with you, and it's very simply this. What is going on in the economy? We know we just hit January 2018. We're starting off a brand new year. A lot of things have been happening so far, and here we are just, 3 or 4 days in. I thought the best thing to do was also to bring in noblegoldinvestment.com CEO or head honcho there, Charles Thorngrid, because I wanted to bring him on and get him talking about what we probably can see for 2018. What does he predict? What will happen with gold, silver, precious metal, these kinds of things, and then also why Wall Street is running scared this year. So with that, Charles, are you with me over there?
I'm here.
All right, so let me start off with the big question. I know you've been right in the past, but what exactly do you see on this year's agenda? What's going to happen with the economy, number one? What's going to happen since you are personally into gold, metal, precious silvers, that kind of thing at your noblegoldinvestments.com? Tell us a little bit about all of that. What is 2018? What does it hold?
2018 is going to be an interesting year. We have the president making some positive differences in the economy, which is a great thing. The issue we have as a precious metals firm is that we have a Dow that's today just broken all-time high, 25,000 on the Dow, which is, to understand what the Dow is, it's a compilation of the biggest stocks on Wall Street, okay? So we look at that and say that sounds great, but the problem is that the Dow has now gone up for 10 years without an effective pullback. That's far too long. It normally has at least 5 to 10% corrections every 7 years or so. And the longer you go, the bigger the next correction gets. So that brings us to, instead of a 5%, maybe we have a 15 or a 20% correction, okay? And that's just the way finance works because there's such exuberance in this market. And we heard that before in 2007, irrational exuberance. We're following that same guideline, and it's unfortunate because that's where our money's at. Your retirement accounts, most of them are there. So, and this is why we promote metals, because it's an alternative to that. You diversify, and your gold and your silver will offset those kind of big swings. It's more stable. It's meant for long-term security investment. It's a safety investment. So that's one of the things we see. I think there's the big chance we see a pullback in Wall Street. And again, the good part of that is that the economy is getting better. There are changes being made that are going to benefit the United States. And with our leadership, benefits that will benefit every person, not just corporations. That's an important part of the process, too. You know, it has to affect everyone.
Yeah. Well, where do you see the economy headed this year?
I think that the biggest issue I have with the economy, I think we're going to see positive growth. Okay, these things do take time. So the longer into this election we go, the better the growth we'll see. Economics is not a fast-moving machine. It's a very slow-moving machine. Everything has to work together, and it takes time to see benefit. So we'll see some additional growth in the GDP. I think we'll see some strong job numbers again. We did today. So we'll see some additional hiring. Where I'm concerned is that we have all the past growth, fabricated growth, we'll term it correctly. The fabricated growth of the last administration over those 8 years has to be paid for. It's never been paid for. We have that massive debt that we're now adding to with the new tax bill. It's important because we need that to grow, but we also have that debt that's never been reconciled. And that's going to be a big issue. Because until we pay the bill for that $8 trillion that was pumped into the system, we're building on a very shaky foundation. So that's what you'll see this year as well. You'll see talks of the Federal Reserve pulling some of that money back out that they put into their coffers, all that debt. That's going to create a lot of tension on Wall Street because that money is going to come out without rhyme or reason, and it's going to cause big waves. It's going to cause shock to traders. And we're already seeing some big investors begin to move out and get diversified because they know this is coming.
And when you say diversified, you mean just put their money in all kinds of different avenues, right?
We're seeing, interestingly enough, we're seeing, it used to be that you would see precious metals and real estate. We're seeing now it's cryptocurrencies and precious metals. Real estate, not so much because of some of the changes to the tax bill. There are some very effective tax write-offs investors would get that are going to lose with this new tax bill. So we're seeing big pushes into metals and to cryptocurrencies.
Okay, now I know we kind of had a little bit off the camera discussion, but what is there, because people have asked, is there any impacts on gold, silver?
Sorry folks, I'm cooking right now, so
sell and deal with in regards to Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is doing? Are they impacting or affecting each other?
You know, it's interesting. People make the assumption, but not really. You know, the metals market and the cryptocurrency market is nowhere near as large as the financial market on Wall Street. They're both fractions of that. So there actually is a lot of room. I know there's been talk, oh, they're going to compete. Actually, they're not. And curiously enough, if you look at both of those investments, they're very similar. I know they may not feel like it. You've got this electronic, you know, who knows what it is floating around here. Most people don't understand. And you've got gold and silver, and everyone knows that. It's been around for 5,000 years. But they're very similar. Other than the tangibility of it, they both say the same thing. I don't trust banks. I don't trust the government. I don't feel good about what's going on. They're very similar. The difference I see is the generation that buys them.
Absolutely, and I have to agree there because look, we don't trust our, at least I know, you know, a lot of the up and coming generation, even the generation above me. I mean, I think we're all on that vein of there is so much not to trust. Here's my little, say hi, little babe. He's on a happy day today. He keeps licking my fingers. But yeah, so here's the thing. All generations, we're losing faith and trust in the government entities simply because, you know, when Obama got into office, he quadrupled, you know, trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. This is not, I mean, all of us are nowhere near what they are in debt. And there's many people I know who have been able to pay off big chunks of their debt. So these are things that put a lot of non-trust into our government leaders who we, you know, got up and put into those positions because we thought they would get our economy stable. And it seems like with each generation they get worse. And finally, we're making some headway with President Trump. And of course, because of that reason, he gets a lot of backlash. Why? Because he's bringing life back to America, and they don't want life. They want to take down America. They want to take it down and bring it into this global system, which is the whole purpose of the UN and model UN and United Nations in all 50 states. But that's why I am such a big pusher of, you know, like your gold and silver. Here I have, you know, my silver here. People can see it kind of less the light, right? My gold, I've got gold here, and that's not all of it, obviously, but in a very safe area. But I encourage everyone, get gold and silver, get invested outside of big government, where the dollar isn't stable. It can hit inflation, it can hit deflation. Do you see it headed in either of those directions?
You know, I see us moving into a very inflationary period. We've been without inflation for a very long period of time. And not to drone on a little bit about it, but, you know, Janet Yellen, the former chair, as she steps down now, she came out and said the Fed does not understand the way inflation is working right now. It's beyond their models. They don't understand. It's not following a normal S-curve. These are scary things because our entire economy is based on the assumption that we can control inflation. So for them to come out and say, we don't know what it's doing, we don't know how to choose a correct model to help fight it, This makes me worry because these are supposed to be the people who understand. They created this entire system, and now they're telling me they don't understand how it's working. That's very worrisome for me. And that usually leads me to believe there's a period of not just inflation, but quite possibly hyperinflation coming.
And that is a scary thought to me. And I know she's been on edge about some things. And, you know, we have Federal Reserve, the IMF, you know, all these different entities trying to pull things and different strings. And again, that's again why I bring you on to talk about these things, because these are the things that kind of get pushed under a rug. Yes, we see improvements in the economy, but that doesn't mean that the Band-Aid's all better and everything's fixed and it's all, you know, we're headed in the right direction. And whether we're going in a good or bad direction, things can flip like they did in 2007, 2008. Nobody got a warning. Nobody was told unless you were looking. I know you guys had your own heads up. You were looking at the signs, reading what was going on. And that's why I love you. And that's why I love what you do is we can assess and hope for the best and look look at the signs ahead and then make preparations and plans. And my goal and my heart is let's have patriots that make a ton of money, you know, and have them at the head of the barrel so we can help political candidates. We can, you know, help our family members, but get into that stable place where we can have and make America great again, to quote Donald Trump. So that's all a plus. So with that, do you have any closing thoughts? I know Wall Street's running scared this year. There's a lot underway for the reasons that you spoke about, but do you have any concluding thoughts? And then share the information for your Noble Gold, how they can get it, the phone number as well.
Yeah, you know, I would say it's the beginning of a new year. Take a couple minutes and let's look and see where you're planning on going this year. I always like to do that. I look, you know, we have a new year. We're ending, you know, 2017. We're starting 2018. I'm a planner kind of guy, so I like to sit down and say, where am I going this year? And I advise people to do the same thing for their finances as well. Say, where do I want to be this year? And take a few minutes and say, here's what I have. Here's my portfolio. What do I want to accomplish with it? And a lot of times when you do that, you put yourself in the mindset to say, hey, let me see what my options are. And, you know, I advise to give us a call. If you think precious metals could be part of your portfolio, it should be. It should be part of everyone's portfolio. So if you don't have it, give us a call and see if this makes sense. I have got a great team here. They're not pushy people. They will talk with you. They'll answer questions and give you the information that you need to see if this is right for you. So start the year out right. Make a plan and say, hey, what am I doing with my finances and how do I make them possibly better? So that's what I would advise. You know, you visit us on our website, noblegoldinvestments.com. Give us a call, you know, 877-596-7916. But more importantly, at least spend a few minutes looking at your finances. Whether you call us or not, that's an important thing because you put them in front of your mind. Life gets busy, and sometimes we forget things, and it's so easy with those retirement accounts. It's just been sitting there, and it's sitting there, and you let it go. That's your retirement. It should be to the front of your mind, not to the back of your mind. Spend a few minutes, give us a call.
Absolutely. And I'll leave all the information and links below for you guys to check that out, and the numbers on the screen, obviously, as well. So with that, give them a call, let them know what's going on, and just make sure you're in a solid place, whether you do that with gold, precious metals, or something else. Just make sure you're starting your new year off right because we don't know what the future holds. Well, thanks again for tuning into my channel here. I'm Lisa Haven, and this is Charles Thorngrid with NobleGoldInvestments.com signing out.
When the FBI director says that the Secretary of State was extremely careless and negligent in handling our classified secrets, I also know that these terms are minor compared to what she actually did.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Michael Trim Show. And at last, we have audio. So I really do apologize for the technical difficulties that I had in getting the audio set up. That is my fault for not being fully prepared. The computer that I use is actually quite old. It's over 5 years old, I realize. And I noticed this several streams that I did ago. There was one of the streams that we did, and the audio quality to the stream was absolutely abysmal. And so the video was choppy and the audio was choppy, and so I have an old computer and I replaced a little bit of the hardware before then, which is why the video is better now. But at the same time, I am facing a failing system. And it could be the deep state actually causing my computer to fail, or it could just be that it's 5 years old and that it actually does want to fail because it's ancient. But let me dial into the live stream right now so I can get this configured for us. And once I have this configured, I will be able to start taking your calls, because I want this to be a session on Ask Me Anything, AMA, that you can either use the comments. Super chat is preferable because it helps fund the channel, and it would also help me replace this machine because it's failing. Once I get this configured. We're good. And I take this one. The call-in number is 619-393-6747. And, again, I want to apologize for the slight technical difficulties that I had right there. It was something that I originally wanted to make sure that I had fixed, but apparently I didn't. And so, do accept my apologies on that. That is my fault. So, what I wanted to do today is discuss with you a massive, what I call a red flag. So Erica says, time for a Mac. Actually, I have a Mac Pro. I bought it in 2012, and I paid almost $6,000 for it. And it had, I think, 32 gigs of RAM, 4 CPUs, 4 gigabytes of video RAM. Yeah, I agree that Macs, their operating system is freaking terrible. But basically, yeah, the machine's old. It's 5 years old now. And I didn't realize actually how old it was until somebody had mentioned it. And honestly, that surprised me that my computer was that old. But what I wanted to do to start is actually discuss with you the 2017 year in review video that I did. This video I spent the majority of last week preparing for it, going through and watching every single video on the White House's YouTube channel and connecting the 2 core components that I've been talking about throughout the entirety of 2017, and also, coincidentally enough, Jordan Sather from Destroying the Illusion had been talking about since the since he began his channel. And that is the intimate relationship between the secret space program and the child sex trafficking pedo. And so those 2 pieces are vastly connected. They're connected in so many ways, and the rabbit hole that is in both of those are, if you think the rabbit hole for Pedogate was massive, wait until you see the rabbit hole for the space program. This is absolutely insane. And one thing I find really fascinating about this is, at least in the new year, it has appeared that the Trump administration has been in communication in some form or another with Alex Jones and the people at InfoWars. And so, a lot of people hate InfoWars that I know. I'm up in the Northeast. They hate InfoWars. They think that it's right-wing conspiracy, that it's garbage, that it's all lies. And honestly, Alex Jones doesn't do himself any favors with his presentation and how psychotic he acts during times, and he'll, hyper-personify some statements that he's trying to make. And he looks crazy when he's doing it, and it doesn't sell well, and it doesn't give a strong opportunity to actually show the real information that he's actually disseminating. And instead what you have is the fact that people have been going to InfoWars and disclosing their information and their sources, and they're connecting the dots, and they're honestly ahead of the times when you look at the mainstream media. InfoWars, in many regards, is the mainstream media because they have tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of viewers, more than MSNBC, more than MSDNC, more than CNN in many, many regards. And so InfoWars is the mainstream when it comes to conservative news. And so the thing that's really fascinating about this is, you know, from my perspective, I used to be more of a liberal and more of a Democrat. And then I realized, I red-pilled, and I realized how absolutely fraudulent the Democratic Party was, and how the core fundamental values that I believed in, they simply weren't representing. Instead, they were raping children and laundering money. That's what they were doing. And like people said, you don't have to agree with Alex Jones or like him. You just have to understand that, you know, his presentation is abrasive, but the content that he talks about is relevant. And so I felt kind of vindicated, you know, watching one of his broadcasts that he had last night, and that was that he has received intelligence from people within the Trump administration that disclose information to Alex Jones and tell him you're on the right track or you're not on the right track, or keep talking about this or keep doing this. They are saying two major bombshells. The first one is the rumor on the street, according to, let me pull it up right now, according to, this is on the Calm Before the Storm board. Let me pull it up right now for everyone, because I was actually super surprised by seeing this. I want to surprise you with it. I don't want to just blat it out. Okay. So here is the 8chan board for Calm Before the Storm, and if you look here for the board owner's new trip code update, it says word around the campfire is that Julian Assange will be released on Thursday. I think this is true, and Anon told me. That's big. That's big, because if Julian Assange is pardoned and released from being a political prisoner, that's huge. That's huge. It doesn't get any more massive than that. We're talking about the fact that Julian Assange has been a political refugee in the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years, I believe it is, that he's been in illegal detainment and fearing extradition to the United States, so that people like Hillary Clinton and Eric Holder and Barack Obama can go after and prosecute him for releasing evidence to the public of the government's war crimes. And the biggest doozy of them all was the disclosure of Pedogate. That was the biggest doozy of them all. The other thing I wanted to point out to you is that the video that I made for the 2017 year in review, that video honestly has received so much pushback, so much censorship across the board from YouTube, from Twitter, from Google, you name it. This video, I don't know why disproportionately this video is getting targeted more. I can think of one thing, and that is that I did include a very small fair use clip from the Dr. Phil show. That's what I can understand. However, there are dozens upon dozens upon dozens of other videos and other channels that have tens of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views, that use fair use copyrighted content, including from the Dr. Phil show, and they don't have any issues. But as it turns out, my 2017 year in review video that I made is being heavily censored right now, with multiple copyright claims that are being put against it. And they're trying to take this video down. It's only been seen 1,300 times. It has been completely shadow banned. That, you know, when you try to go to this video, it now gives you a warning saying that this information, two copyright claims, one from Lionsgate, an advertisement for their video. An advertisement for their video using a public trailer that they released. Trailers are, when companies make trailers and they release them, they're designed for people to go and use. They're designed for fans to go and use. Not for your video to be immediately taken down by YouTube just by using it. And then you have CBS television saying that, oh, you know, I'm using a clip, fair use from Dr. Phil, so we're going to silence and censor your channel as a result of it. And this video is now being flagged as being inappropriate. Look at this. This video is offensive to some audiences. This is what you are getting, okay? And this is what I'm receiving. And so, you know, one of the things I wanted to do during this is, you know, reply to some of these comments down here, because the feedback that I received from this I've really enjoyed. And you know, it took me a while to make this video, and I was shocked by how much space-related news that Donald Trump had actually discussed and disclosed to the public that nobody heard of. Literally nobody heard of this stuff. I took a video and included it in my video, and their video, the White House official government YouTube page, only had 5,000 views. And it was the summary cap of what the National Space Council is going to do. And the thing that I want to connect with InfoWars, that directly connects with this year in review video that I did, Alex Jones is coming out now saying Trump is strongly considering, which is going to happen because his administration has been pointing to this constantly, that he's going to start declassifying and disclosing some of the secret technology that our government and our DoD spent $21+ trillion on developing over the past 70 years in secret, that President Eisenhower warned us about, the military-industrial complex, that Kennedy warned us about, the secret societies being involved in politics, science, math, religion, you name it, news, across the board. That
always got to get on the Zeus.
Is the SSP in the United States. The deep state within the DOJ protects the SSP. The deep state within the FBI protects the SSP. The deep state in the CIA protects the SSP. The SSP is the deep state, and pedophilia is the glue that holds it together. This is extremely fascinating to me, because this video doesn't have anything that's age inappropriate on it. In fact, I don't even swear.
Smell him.
In all of my other videos that I have, I swear. In that one video, I don't
good, huh?
It was carefully messaged. It was carefully worked on. It took me a week to make it. And it's being heavily censored right now. So if people could do me a favor, if they could not just retweet it, but actually write a new tweet, post it on Facebook, post it on Reddit, get this out, because it is the only way that we can beat the censorship involved in this is by manually experiment with people that we know.
You stay chill too.
Instructing and
You can't be
guiding
acting
people,
all irate.
being like, hey, here's what is
He's not
literally
gonna
going to
chill unless
break
you
open
chill.
in front of our eyes in the next year to 2
Okay, I'll take
years.
the flashlight.
Once pedogate is moved out of the way, and once, you know, we have declared freedom, as Trump so boldly announced, as January being National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention Month.
Hey, cut it out,
You know,
dude.
one of the things in this proclamation that I made
He's like, I
was
know
that
that
on
term.
February 1st, we will have an annual celebration of national freedom. We're going to have National Freedom Day on February 1st. This right here, once we're free from the shackles of this deep state, from these pedophiles and these human traffickers and these drug traffickers and weapons traffickers, once we get past that, make America great again literally means bringing science fiction into science fact. You've heard it from the president and vice president themselves, from their own words. We are going to unlock the mysteries of space. We are going to discover ancient technologies, and we're going to make America great again. This means that the job